Welcome back, and another warm welcome to Emirates Old Trafford here. It's a beautiful day in Manchester. As they always say, the sun shines on the righteous. I think that's the saying that we should be getting on with. We've already seen one victory here earlier on today, a terrific victory for the Thunder, their first game, their first win of the season. Can we make it 2 out of 2? Well, tonight it is, of course, the turn of the Lightning up against the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. I'm delighted to say that David Lloyd is with me this evening. David, good to see you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm absolutely thrilled to come to Emirates Old Trafford. This is one of the great stadiums of the world. Make no mistake, the sun's shining. It's going to be rocking. It always is for T20.
You have brought the sunshine with you, which is nice.
Well, I've come a long way. I live in deepest, darkest North Yorkshire now, so I've brought the sunshine.
So you crossed over to the old enemy, so to speak.
Sort of, and I go under cover of darkness.
I don't blame you. Do you take your passport as well?
Yeah, I got to do all that.
You've had all your
stamps,
rabies shots, all that kind of thing.
I know all the phrases. How much?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Happen, etc. We'll be playing the Yorkies before too long, of course. Can't wait for that one. As far as this game is concerned tonight, it's been a terrific start for the Lightning. 2 wins from 2 games. They've absolutely ripped into it so far.
Do you know, I think that is so important. When you get into the T20 Blast, you need a good start. You need to hit the pitch running, and they've done that. They've played 2 matches, impressive against Leicestershire, just blowing them away. And so you've got to keep that momentum going. You're at home. They've not been defeated here for 16 matches. This is a real fortress, but they're up against a top outfit. But no mistake, these Outlaws, they played last night, beat Derbyshire, they play again against Durham on Monday, and they're going to be roundabout.
The man that everybody talks about, of course, is Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Yeah.
I mean, what an international player he is. Absolutely terrific bowler. How difficult is it going to be up against a bowler like that when you've got someone like that in your attack?
Well, the Lightning will have a plan. He can only bowl 24 deliveries. And so do you go after him, go strong against him, or just say, well, in 4 overs, if he goes for 25, we've done okay. It's going to be a fabulous pitch here. But also, you look at their batters. Alex Hales. As soon as I look on it, is Hales playing? That's the first thing I said, because he can demolish you. If I've been out in Dubai, and he flew into opposition, and then right at the end he tailed off and couldn't get a run. I hope he's brought that with him.
Well, he had a bit of a failure last night, I think, by his standards. He got 12 last night.
Yeah.
The Outlaws got a 4-wicket win over Derbyshire Falcons, but Joe Clark hit 68 and Matt Montgomery got 51. So they've still got plenty of power down that order, haven't they?
Yeah, I looked at the lineup and I think they're strong in batting, and of course, with Afridi in the team, you know, he's going to spearhead the attack. It's just this pitch, I don't think he's going to help the bowlers too much, so they've got to use the brain. The batters should be saying, I'm going to clatter it all over the place here.
You're going to give us a pitch report a little bit later on. I'm just having a look behind my shoulder to see what's going on, because the 2 captains are there at the moment. So let's have a look and see if we can walk over and see what's happening with the toss itself. We'll get back to Bumble himself. He'll give us a pitch report in a little while. My old mate Stephen Mullaney is there, Nottinghamshire captain these days, of course, and Liam Livingston is there as well, as we make sure what we can hear from the 2 umpires and the 2 captains as they decide who bats and who bowls first. Just a few last little instructions as they have a look at the boundaries and what have you, and we'll hear from Liam Livingston as soon as the toss is done. A little bit of a breeze has just blown up here a little bit here now, which has blown the coin out of Liam Livingston's hand, but here we go with the toss itself, and he's thrown that one a long way, to be fair. The umpire rather, is going to have a good long look at this one. So decision's been made, and the boys have shaken hands. We'll have a quick photograph with the 2 of them in just a sec. Mull just getting in the wrong direction there. We're going to be in the way here. We best get out of it. Let's just have a little bit of a move round, see if Livy can join us. Good to see you, Mull. Thanks very much, mate. We'll get Liam on here. Liam, thanks very much indeed for joining us. The toss has been made. What's the verdict?
Yeah, we've won it. We're going to have a bat.
We always like to have a bat first here, don't you, if you get the opportunity. Just in terms of the side itself, any changes from that blistering show we saw on Thursday?
No changes. Same team. Yeah, like you said, it's something we always do well here is bat first, get a score and hopefully defend it.
It was an absolute steamrollering of Leicestershire the other night, wasn't it? Just how much does that give everybody a great deal of confidence going into the rest of this competition now?
Yeah, it does. I think that's the sort of thing we pride ourselves on, is when you get the chance to really bury a team. So, no, the boys did really well. I thought the bowlers were unbelievable, and we finished it off really well with the bat. So, we know every game's not going to be like that, so I think today will be a bit more difficult, and I know the boys are really looking forward to it.
Yeah, they are a quality side, the Outlaws, aren't they? Just how much of a threat are they going to be tonight, do you think?
Yeah, they've got a lot of world-class players in their team, so but so have we. So everybody's looking forward to it. It's a great occasion. It's nice to be back at Old Trafford. So yeah, everybody's excited.
And how much are you looking forward to hopefully putting on a real big show in front of a big crowd here under the lights at Emirates Old Trafford?
Yeah, that's something we pride ourselves on, making sure that we entertain the crowd that comes in and hopefully make them want to come back and watch us play cricket. So yeah, like you said, hopefully we can put on a show and ultimately take away the 2 points.
We wish you the best of luck, Liam. Go well. Thanks very much indeed for joining him as Liam Livingston there. So Lancashire are going to be having a bat, and will be interesting to see just how some of the players get on this evening, including the likes of Tom Hartley, who I had a little chat with earlier on during the ladies' game. Tom, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. What's it like being part of this side after 2 wins from 2 games so far?
Yeah, it's great. There's a great atmosphere going on. We've been, a couple of lads come back, Livy and Salty. They're always great experience, and Livy was a good captain the other night. So, yeah, it's really fun at the minute, and we just want to carry it on. Having
players like that around you must be fantastic for you as a young player developing his career.
Yeah, I played with Livy and Salty for a few years now, but, they've always got great experience. Both come from the IPL. So there's a lot going on, and they've seen a lot, so, it's great to learn from.
As I say, 2 wins so far. That game the other day was an absolute dismantling, wasn't it, of Leicestershire? You did a really fantastic job in that game.
We were fantastic up top. The bowlers did the damage, restricted them in the power play with a few wickets, and then we just carried it on. Carl and Darryl through the middle were great as well, and Parky bowled great. So, we stuck to our plans, and then batting-wise, we were very destructive and didn't give them a chance to settle.
For you personally, you've been involved in 2 finals days now. Is that one from last year, though, still sticking in your throat a little bit?
Yeah, a little one. It did hurt a bit, from the position we were in. We were really backing ourselves. But that's what the pressure of a final does. But with the squad we've got this year, there's no reason why we can't go there again.
I'm going to say, how confident are you all that you'll be able to get there again this year?
Yeah, very confident. If we can all play to our abilities, and people stand up each game, then I don't see why not.
For you personally, I know you've been working very hard on your batting in particular. How do you feel that's going for you so far?
Yeah, pretty well. I think I've shown a bit of promise in the 4-day stuff, so just trying to convert that to the T20s. I've been trying to hit it out the park in the championship a little bit, so hopefully I can carry on the same in this.
Yeah, you've been very much a mainstay of the T20 team, haven't you, since coming in? What is it about this format that you particularly suits your game, do you think?
I'm not sure. I just don't like going for runs, so when I can do that, then it helps the team, and I keep playing each week. So as long as I can help the team, that's all important.
As far as Nottinghamshire are concerned, the Outlaws, Shaheen Afridi, the guy that everybody's talking about, obviously, how much are you looking forward to playing against a spectacular player like that?
Yeah, I know he's a great player, bowls with great pace, and he can give it a whack with the bat as well. So it'll be tough if we can get him out early and see off his overs with a few runs off him. Then it should be great.
And how much do you love playing here at Old Trafford under the lights? Fantastic conditions like this today. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, perfect. The crowd really get on our sides, and it's quite formidable playing out here, so I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
Go well tonight. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Well, we're going to have a pitch report. Sometimes pitch reports can be so intriguing. Not here at Emirates Old Trafford. What you see is what you get. You could play on this pitch for a fortnight, I can tell you. This is the 4th match that's been played on it. 2 T20s during the week. The women have just played on it, and the men are going to play on it. We'll have a little look at it for what it's worth. You can see that there's a nice covering of grass on it, but it's not live grass. It's dead grass, is this. Look at these cracks. You might just be alarmed by these cracks. No, not at all. They won't move at all. I doubt whether it'll spin too much. I can tell you, this is a batter's paradise. I'm nearly 90, and I reckon I could have a bat on here. Boundary-wise, over there, it's nearly in the centre of Manchester, but the wind's blowing this way. So if you're a right-hander stood at this end, whack it over there. If you've got the power and you've got the muscle, whack it over there. Be careful that side. Arctic monkeys are coming here later on, and that's where they're going to be. Just be careful going that side because the wind's against you. It's a pearler.
As you've seen, Lancashire Lightning have won the toss and they have decided to bat. The team sheets are in. We'll start with our visitors this afternoon, the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. And they line up as follows. Number 10, Alex Hales. Number 33, Joe Clark. Number 82, Colin Munro. Number 5, Stephen Mullaney. Number 23, Tom Moores. Number 21, Samit Patel. Number 14, Matt Montgomery. Number 45, Lyndon James. Number 10, Shaheen Afridi. Number 4, Conor McCurr. And number 20, Matt Carter. And your Lancashire Lightning side for tonight is as follows. Number 3, Luke Wells. Number 7, Phil Salt. Number 15, Stephen Croft. Number 75, Daryl Mitchell. Number 23, Captain Liam Livingston. Number 77, Colin de Grandhomme. Number 17, George Bell. Number 2, Tom Hartley. Number 14, Luke Wood. Number 25, Sakib Mahmood. And number 28, Matt Parkinson. Where's Bumble gone? Very good afternoon, warm welcome. It's chaos down here, I have to say, because David Lloyd has turned up and everything has just gone completely out the window. That's no surprise, is it, at all? Let's be fair. Kate Cross has come to join me. Kate, many congratulations on your victory this afternoon.
Yeah, we needed that one.
I can imagine the confidence that you will get from this and the feeling that you have must be fantastic.
Yeah, we've not been far off either. I think it's been quite a frustrating start for us as a team, but that felt really clinical. It felt like we fielded well, we bowled well and we batted well. So it's kind of, we put everything together today, which is what we've been talking a lot about.
And that's what you've been lacking, hadn't it, so far, I guess. You'd seen areas where you'd put bits of a game together, but today you really managed to get everything all in the one game. Yeah,
and I think it started with our fielding. We spoke in the dressing room about creating our own energy because teams aren't going to hand us wins. We've got to work hard for them. So yeah, just really pleased for the girls. It's been, like I said, it's been a tough start to the season, but winning at home with a great crowd. I think there's 2,500 people in watching us. So yeah, just great to be a part of.
Terrific knock from Liberty Heap, and then to see Deandra Dottin smashing the ball all over the place towards the back end there as well. I mean, everybody must have been really enjoying that.
Yeah, Liberty, 19 years old, she's still learning the game, but how she hits the ball, it's really exciting. She's got one way of playing, and you can forgive her if she gets out caught because that's kind of how she plays. But Dee Dee, that was her destructive best, I thought. She gave herself a chance to get in, and then those shots down the ground, like she's clearing the men's boundaries easily there, so it's great to see. We
want to see more of that, hopefully, in the not-too-distant future. Turning to tonight's game, then, Nottinghamshire Outlaws, obviously Lancashire, 2 games, 2 wins so far, and that maybe sent a bit of a message out against Leicestershire the other night. The way they absolutely steamrolled them send out a bit of a message, I think, to the rest of the counties in this game.
Yeah, I think that kind of happens every season with Lancashire. We've got such a strong squad. You know, you've got so many people, like Dane Villas sat on the bench, is a remarkable thing to say as a Lancashire fan, but it goes to show the depth that they've got. But the way they've been playing their cricket has been so impressive, and how they bowled here the other night on Thursday, that's what set the game up, and it allowed then Salty and the batters to go out and play with a lot of freedom. But yeah, the bowling attack as well, when you add Sakib Mahmood into that, Luke Wood, he's been bowling really well. So I think it's just the balance of the team that they've got perfect at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, how impressed are you with the balance of that team, particularly now with Salty and Liam Livingston coming back and Josh Butler to come as well? I mean, the strength they've got in the side is incredible, isn't it?
It is, it's incredible. To think that we've got Josh for 10 games, I think it is, which is probably unheard of, but he's going to add so much to the team. But Salty and Livy have just come back from playing in the IPL. They've had, you know, cricket under their belt. They've got a lot of confidence. They love playing at home, so just excited to see them to get a go tonight, because obviously they're chasing the low total on Thursday. It didn't really give them a chance to get the audience, I guess, seeing what they can do best.
Yeah, the fact that they've decided they want to bat first, I mean, that's what Lancashire would normally do under these sort of circumstances anyway. They always like to bat first if they can, but the fact that they've got a huge crowd here to be able to do it in front of as well, if they can put on a massive total, I mean, that would really get everybody up and excited.
It really is a home advantage playing here, because the crowd is, it really is a home crowd. They'll get stuck into the Notts lads if they make mistakes in the field, and that's always the difficulty of coming and playing here. So yeah, I'm just looking forward forward to the game. They've got confidence 2 from 2. I think it's the right decision to bat first. It's just a little bit slower and it's just getting a bit drier, so there'll be a bit of turn in the second innings as well.
Great stuff. Thanks for the moment, Kate. Speaking of the crowd, we've sent Agent Bumble out there into C stand. Where are you, David? Where are you?
Well, I love going out in the crowd. It's going to be rocking here tonight, and I've found these lads here, and I'm going to ask them, you've got to ask them who you're supporting,
Lancashire, just for Liam Livingstone.
Why Liam Livingstone?
He's a great player. Normally, recently played for Punjab Super Kings in IPL.
But he's been injured for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, injured for. He's a good player. I'm a good favourite fan of him.
You've not come all the way from the Punjab to watch Liam Livingstone tonight, have you? You haven't?
Yeah. Just because of him. I'm here just because of him.
Brilliant, great to have you here at Emirates Old Trafford. What do you think of it so far?
Sorry?
What do you think of it so far? Start again. What do you think of it so far?
He can blast it tonight.
This is the best stadium in the world.
Yeah, one of the best stadiums. You know.
Brilliant, good lads. Right, let's move along. We'll have a word with these little lads. You're a Lancashire fan. Yeah, do you know who's your best player?
Probably Liam Livingstone or Phil Salt.
And Phil Salt, he's come from Sussex, hasn't he? He's a good player. What about bowlers?
Bowlers, I'd say Anderson or Mahmood.
Anderson or Mahmood. Now, Anderson's not playing, but did you see him? He was just warming up. So I reckon he might be fit for the Test match. But Saqib's playing. Saqib's here tonight.
Excellent.
Great. Have a great night.
Thank
you very much, David.
Now then, I think they've. Now, have you? Yeah, are you at the right ground?
I think so, yeah.
Who are you? What team are you?
We've actually come up from Southampton for Team Dan because this is my son. It's a stag weekend.
You getting married?
He is.
What? Not you. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Are you
Already married to my mum, mate.
Yeah. Have you been married before?
Have I been married before? No, this is my first time.
Oh, well, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
We saw you in Sydney many years ago.
Don't interrupt. Who's this here?
This is his brother.
I'm him. He's my best man.
You're the best man. But are you a cricket team as well? Are you?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Cardiff University.
We're Cardiff University Cricket Club.
Cardiff University Cricket Club. You look a set of nutters to me.
Well, he causes chaos wherever he goes. I think Kate apparently knows whose stag do that is. More on that later, perhaps. We shall find out. In the meantime, if you need a reminder of the rules, here we go.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs, and if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team are scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
We are looking forward to what should be an absolutely sensational game here tonight. Lancashire Lightning versus the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Kate Cross is with me after victory earlier on today. Lanky's here as well. He's just been having hugs with David Loyes, would you believe, causing chaos wherever he goes. So much to look forward to in this game. We've spoken about the quality of the side that Lancashire have this season, but Nottinghamshire as well when you look at it. Shaheen Afridi, Alex Hales, Matt Montgomery, They are a quality side all the way through as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I know it's different formats, but they had a really positive start in the county champs as well. So as a club, they've got a lot of confidence. But yeah, having the likes of Alex Hales, so excited to see Afridi bowl tonight. He's obviously such a huge part of the Pakistan team now. So yeah, I think it'll actually be a really evenly matched game. And obviously the team that is able to hold their nerve the longest will hopefully be the team that wins, and fingers crossed that's Lancashire.
Lancashire, of course, winning the toss and deciding to bat, so they will be facing Afridi probably fairly early on. What sort of a tactic do you have when you've got a bowler like that? Do you go at him? Do you try and just bat him out, or what do you think?
They won't bat him out. I think when there's pace on the ball, it's a lot easier to score, especially in the power play, and that's what the likes of Phil Salt, Liam Livingston, Luke Wells, if he's opening the bat, and that's what they try to do, take advantage of only having the two fielders out. So they'll just be looking to jump on any bad ball that he bowls. Obviously that's your international prowess, I guess, that you've got when you come into a team. You want to be the one that's taking the wickets, but yeah, they definitely won't bat him out.
We've got some old friends that have come here as well, obviously the likes of Peter Moores, former coach here, Stephen Mullaney, former player here as well. Stephen Mullaney's just had the captaincy given to him as well. Liam Livingston's taken the captaincy here. How much do those generals in the field have an influence on what goes on this pitch here tonight?
Massively, honestly. Captains can win you games of T20 cricket. How Liam will use his bowlers will be massive. Even how they affect the batting order, you know, if they send de Grandhomme in earlier to have a go. But yeah, I think Mullaney, he's played so much cricket, he's so experienced. I think he played 100 games here before he went to Notts, and I feel like he's been at Notts for ages. So yeah, they'll be, obviously they've named him captain for a reason, so I'm sure that he'll play a big part as well.
As far as Lancashire's bowling unit is concerned, you mentioned the likes of de Grandhomme and obviously Wood. We want to see Saqib Mahmood obviously in among the wickets again. It'd be great for him to really push on now after taking 3 the other night, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think he's just gaining his confidence back as well. He was obviously out for a long time with that back injury, and when I saw him bowl here in the county champs, it looked like he wasn't just quite at his best, at his peak. And I think what we saw the other night was him getting the ball through, bouncing players, using his pace. So yeah, it's great to see him back. You think Rick Gleeson's not making this team at the minute. He's obviously working through some stuff. And again, it just goes to show the depth that Lancs have got in this squad. And teams that have got lots of depth get themselves through to finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was an absolutely fantastic victory for Lancashire the other night here on Thursday when they absolutely steamrolled the Leicestershire Foxes. Let's take a look back at that game with some of the highlights.
Too long on. Wood bowls. That's off an edge down towards the third-man boundary, and it's 4 runs. Way back to full fitness. Bowls a full-length ball, which is hammered high out towards the leg side by Welsh. 1 bounce out towards the rope. Here's Luke Wood, bowls. Oh, that's a pull. It's a top edge pull out towards the leg side. It'll land safe, I think. No! Hartley comes up, takes a terrific catch. Got there in the nick of time, Tom Hartley. Into Welch, and he squirts that one out towards Bell, who takes the catch at backward point. 2 wickets in the over. Another leading edge, this time by Welch. De Grandhomme to Lilly, that's clobbered back over the bowler's head, down towards the boundary, at long on, 1 bounce, and it skips over the rope. Grandhomme to Lilly, well, that squirts away into the onside. It's such a simple catch for Daryl Mitchell, and Lilly departs for 5. There's de Grandhomme in on his ball. Ackerman down on 1 knee, trying to slog sweep it away through mid-wicket, and the ball clatters into his off stump.
Worcestershire played fell away quite quickly in the end. This is in the air leg side. It's a catching opportunity. No, just falls short of the fielder, just running round to his left-hand side. He does well in the end as Bell. Again, on the leg side, just clipped away, very fine. It's going to run to the boundary. It's going to be 4 runs here, and signalled by umpire Mallender as well. Just didn't quite get the line right there at the Grandhomme. Around 48 for 4 it remains. 2 balls left of the 9th over. This is in the air over the top of extra cover. It's going to be a big chase out there on the boundary. Will he get there? No, he won't. It's going to be 4 more runs. So some boundaries at last being found here. Patel's on 7. And he's gone high here. Has he got enough on it though? That's the question. I don't think so. I think it's going to be caught, and he is. The catch has been taken out there. It was up there for a long time. Had to come in. Did Luke Wood to take the catch. Balls to Mulder. He's on 25. This is in the air again. This could be caught. It should be caught, and it is. Mulder can't quite believe it. He's found the man out there at deep mid-wicket on the boundary, just coming in. He's gone for 25. It's all falling apart here for Leicestershire.
To be a successful cricket.
Ahmed, and that one's a short one. Does he get anything on it? I think he does. And he was looking there just, I think Ahmed it is who's gone, looking maybe to just lift that ball away again.
I find it amazing.
Swindles comes down towards Matt Parkinson, hits it back over his head, and Mitchell into Parkinson. Oh, that's gone high, more height than distance, and it's Phil Salt that takes the catch. 8 down now so far. Goes again, big top edge, it's scooped up toward kind of extra cover. Who's underneath this thing? Is Livingston, and the captain takes the catch.
Good catch, it's a really good catch.
Mood to Davis, another leading edge, and Mitchell takes the catch, and that's that. Back into Wells, that's hammered away through the onside, and one bounce out towards deep mid-wicket, and he gets himself 4 runs. Goes again, Wells. There's a man out on the deep backward square leg, and on this occasion he's gone. He comes over the wicket to Croft, who leans back and carves this ball away for 4 more. Behind Mulder in to Croft, swatted high towards deep backward square leg. Oh, all the way for 6. What a shot from Croft. 6 down towards the hotel. Slip in place. Croft takes it off his hip, pulls it behind square on the leg side, and gets 4 more.
They've gone really nasty today. It's been good to watch. Shot salty.
Back over the bowler's head all the way. 1 bounce actually, just this side of the rope. It's gone for 4. Salt on to 22 and going again over mid-off all the way this time, definitely. Couple of rows back towards that long off boundary. 4 and then a 6 for Salt.
Just make sure they get good connection through the hands.
Salt off the back foot this time. Oh,
that's a great catch.
Has he caught? He's kept it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic catch.
Bit of sort of negative playing.
Parkinson to Mitchell, thumps it back over the bowler's head. 1 bounce and 4 runs to end the 10th over.
It's formidable. Now this is in the air. Has that got enough on it? It has indeed. It's going to go over a massive 6. It is into the crowd just below the point. Wow, that is big, and they're well on their way. And he's bowled 2 balls, make that 3 now, and that is winning runs, and that is just cleared away. Has it gone over the rope or not? We wait to see. It has with a 6. They've got there with a 6.
Yeah, it was a cracking way, wasn't it, to start the first home game of this season's T20 Blast. Victory on Thursday against the Leicestershire Foxes, and on a breezy day here at Emirates Old Trafford, it's Lancashire Lightning against the Notts Outlaws, with Lightning looking to make it 3 wins from 3. And for the Outlaws, this is their first group game. Stephen Moore is alongside me, former Lancashire player and title winner from 2011. All those moons ago, Stephen.
It does feel a long time ago now, that's for sure.
You and I were last together at finals day last year.
Yeah.
Now, Keaton Jennings sat there on Thursday, and I asked Keaton Jennings whether he'd got over finals day from last year, and he said, no, I haven't. Have you recovered from finals day last year?
No, that was quite an experience, wasn't it? That, I mean, the highs and the lows, the celebrations, the non-celebrations, it was incredible scenes. But that's what's brilliant about this game, isn't it? I mean, you know, it can produce events like that.
And I guess a sense for Lancashire to try and go one better this year.
They're too good a squad not to, you know, and we were just talking about this off air earlier. You know, there needs to be more silverware in this club based on the quality of the squads that they've been able to put together. It's the depth, the consistency in winning games. So that needs to turn into silverware, and I think they'll be disappointed this year if they don't go one better.
Is it a case that they should be winning more competitions?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're putting themselves in the right position. They're asking the right questions at the right time. It's just getting over that final hurdle. And for a club like this, with the squads that they've been able to put together, and importantly the consistency of performances, especially in one-day cricket, you know, that needs to turn into some more silverware, and I think that'll be the standard this year.
Well, we'll see whether they can continue what has been a good start. They beat Derbyshire at Edgbaston in the blast-off fixture at the weekend, and then the victory against the Foxes on Thursday here. So can they try and make it 3 wins from 3? With Luke Wells and Phil Salt to open the batting for Lancashire Lightning. They've won the toss. They're going to have a bat first. Our 2 umpires are heading out to the middle as well. It is, as you can see, if you're watching on Lancs TV or for listeners on the BBC Sport website and app, it is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's a beautiful evening. We've had the first T20 match between Thunder and Sunrisers, and now the second T20 match, and the weather could not be any better.
Who says it always rains up here?
Exactly.
This is absolutely. You could be anywhere. You could be in Portugal right now. It's absolutely brilliant.
You could be, but we're at Costa del Salford.
Salford.
We're not too far away from the start of our second game in this T20 doubleheader. So
ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, with a guard of honour from South West Manchester Cricket Club, please welcome our umpires this evening, Peter Hartley and Hassan Adnan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big warm welcome to our visitors tonight, the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Emirates Old Trafford, are you ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lancashire Lightning.
Wells and Livingston and Salt, rather, leading out Lancashire here as they set about putting a total on the board. What on earth that total will be and what is a good total? I defer that to Stephen Moore.
Well, it's an interesting ground. The pitch is right over on one side, so you've got a very big boundary out towards the new hotel area, and to where the Arctic Monkey stage is quite a short boundary. But this is going to be some matchup. Shaheen Afridi is not slow, and if that wicket's got a bit of pace into it, this could be fireworks with Phil Salt and Luke Wells. They will not hold back, that is for sure.
No, I suspect not. They will give it plenty at the top, won't they? Wells and Salt. Shaheen Afridi is going to bowl the first over of the match. He's some signing, isn't he?
Yes, but that's what's brilliant. I mean, that's what we need in this game. You know, players like this coming in. Obviously, you got Salt, who's just been over to the IPL as well. This is why the crowds, they want to come and watch this kind of cricket in the sunshine here at Old Trafford. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Got a slip in place. I've got Luke Wells on strike, and as the music starts to fade down, we'll get this second T20 underway. Can Lightning follow Thunder? I didn't mean that. I wasn't scripted. Is Afridi in and balls. It's driven away. Oh, over the top of cover, just about. I mean, it was flashed firmly by Salt. Bang up and over extra cover for 4 runs.
That's a typical Salt shot. It was up there, and he's not going to hold back. If it's in his half, he just throws his hands at it, and with the extra pace of Shaheen, just managed to get it over the top of cover there, who is quite a tall chap. I don't know who's standing at cover there.
I think it's Lyndon James.
Lyndon James, is it? Yeah, he's quite tall.
I think that it was almost kind of beyond his fingers before he jumped up, wasn't it? He was absolutely hammered away. Pretty emphatic start to the match. Afridi bowls again. That's it's guided down to third man by Salt for a single. I was going to say thick edge, but that'd be a bit cruel.
Well, no, I think that was definitely an off drive. That after it had gone down to third man, the batsman just makes it look like, yeah, I definitely meant it to go down there. That's for sure. I'd love to say I never did that.
Salt moves on to 5, and as indeed the Lancashire Lightning. It's got Afridi bowling from the Brian Statham end. Luke Wells on strike for the first time. Ground is filling up beautifully. I think they sold in excess of 10,000 tickets prior to a ball being bowled. Obviously, you got your walk-ups as well, which you you can have. Afridi to Wells. Oh, that loops away in towards the onside. And a rather startled-looking Luke Wells peers rather nervously back down the pitch.
He's having a good look at the wicket. He's not quite sure whether there was a bit of swing or whether the ball got stuck on the wicket a little bit, but he was definitely through the shot sooner than he expected and got a thick leading edge that just dropped, thankfully, in the middle of nowhere.
This pitch is the same pitch that was used for the women's game earlier on today. Afridi's into Wells. It's full length and that squirts down to third man. That is definitely an edge. A pass first slip down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, and that was definitely some swing there from Shaheen. Beautiful away swing, really full, giving a good chance to swing. And all Wells could do was a thick edge, and if there'd been 2 slips, that would have been comfortably taken by second slip.
I think he's only been in the country a couple of days. Shaheen Afridi kind of joined up with his teammates back end of last week. That's what these guys do now, isn't it? They're going to fly in, play a bit, fly out. Afridi to Wells. Oh, he's swinging and missing. And the ball again shapes away past Wells into the gloves of the keeper. It's an absolute beauty from Afridi.
He doesn't quite know what happened there. He thought he might have LBW or bowled or anything. A beautiful delivery, a little bit of shape. Just must have missed the top of off stump by a whisker.
I think he was, he was appealing for a little caught behind. Well, that's not going to happen. I appeal for LBW. That's not happened. Are the bails still on? Went for pretty much the whole lot there. It was a lovely ball from Afridi. Final ball of the first over. Wells on 4. And Lancashire Lightning a 9 without loss. Afridi left arm over balls to Wells. That's pushed up towards mid-on. And they'll get through for a single. Alex Hales at mid-on for the Notts Outlaws. Stops the ball, but doesn't stop the run. And that's the first over gone. Lancashire got 10 runs off it, so a bit of an all-action start, really.
Yeah, and that's what you can have with someone bowling the pace that Afridi can bowl there. You can see the Lancashire batsmen a little bit late on the delivery, trying to just find their rhythm and trying to get into this match. But yeah, a couple of edges and a streaky shot, and they're off and running.
They are off and running, yeah. Conor McCurr will bowl the second over from the Jimmy Anderson end, of which he might start in shade. The sun a little lower in the sky and shadow being cast from the point and from the pavilion, which is looking pretty full. Of course, one side of the ground is still under renovation, the hotel. So here's McCurr to running into to Wells, who's on 5. Just dabbed away into the onside, up to mid-on, where Hales fields again, and there is no run. So there's some really strong-looking names across both these two sides. And that hotel, which is part building site, part hotel, might get a bit of peppering tonight. I mean, that's quite a big hit. Which is not beyond these guys, is it?
No, and not the way they strike the ball these days, that is for sure.
There's McCurr. Sets off again. Wells on 5. In and bowls. Muscled out towards the onside. That's gone high, out towards the hotel. All the way for 6. As if to back up our point, Stephen. No matter how big the boundaries are, these guys can clear them.
Geez, that is a big hit on any ground. That is to the long side, in fact, to the long corner of the long side. And yeah, comfortable, using his feet, coming down. And beautiful shot over wide mid-wicket. Long levers of Wells there.
16 without loss. First 6 of the evening. McCurr bowls to Wells, flicked off the pass to the right of short fine leg. Samit Patel's chasing after it. He ain't going to get to it. And it's 4 more runs. Well, we saw power in the previous boundary. That was a little bit more finesse.
Yeah, and you can see he put the bowler under pressure by using his feet to bowl before. He stayed in his crease there. Bowler drags his length back a little bit, and Wells could just tuck it off his hip past my favourite position there at short fine leg, Samit Patel.
Happy new T20 blast. Stephen Moore's taken 1.5 overs to get in the fact that he doesn't like a short fine leg. Here comes McCurr to Wells, just back of a length. He's rocking back, pulling the ball away for 4 more runs behind square. Up off the back foot, flicked off the hip, 24 without loss.
I might as well put a yellow and green road cone over there for all that position is worth. When the bowlers are bowling like this and batsmen are hitting it like that, unless it goes absolutely straight at the individual, you got no chance. and that one was short down the leg side, and it was easy, just a free shot for Wells just to help it on its way, and surprise, surprise, I got rid of short fine leg.
Yeah, Summit's disappeared. Here's McCurr to Wells. It's again turned off the hip. It's up off the back foot and working it away to Montgomery at deep backward square leg. Well, Wells has rattled his way up to 20. He faced 9 deliveries. 25 without loss with a ball left of the second over. It's the same on Thursday, actually. Kind of Wells dominated the partnership. You'd expect Salt to be the kind of the big headline act, and actually Wells has come out and smoked it around.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's nice when you've got two batsmen that have different statures, play a different type of game, depending on the way the pitch is playing or the bowlers, you can both dominate quite easily. So, yeah, good combination.
Salt on strike. Conor McCurr in and bowls. Plenty of bottom hand on this as he drills it up towards Mullaney. Stephen Mullaney at mid-on, who skippers the Outlaws in the T20 blast. Former lanky man. End of the second over, 26 without loss, Salt on 6, and Wells unbeaten on 20. It's a day for short sleeves and for sunglasses and for caps on backwards and for beers.
They're having a great time, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Ground filling up nicely. In fact, a couple of awkward times, I suppose. I mean, 6:30 on a Saturday evening. Certainly Thursday at 12:30 was a little bit of an awkward one, wasn't it? But decent numbers in on Thursday. We've had good numbers in through the course of the day. I thought it was a really good turnout for the very start of the first match, the Thunder game, and that built through the course of that match. And they were treated to a home win a little bit earlier on, first of the summer for Thunder. Here's Carter to Salt. He rocks back and muscles the ball away to deep backward square leg. I think 1 bounce 4. It is. Just this side of the rope, but not by much.
Almost went the full distance there, but you do not want to bowl that length to Phil Salt. He dragged it just a fraction short, but quick on his feet, and he absolutely smashed it almost perfectly, dead square of the wicket, easily dissecting the 2 fielders out in the boundary there.
Yeah, there's 2 on the rope on the leg side in front of the new hotel building. Salt just shuffles back and works it off his pads up to mid-on, and there's no run. Sorry, they've got through for a single. 31 without loss.
This is the beauty of having the left-right combination. Now he has to bowl to Luke Wells, who is hitting to the short boundary. It's very difficult for a spinner in these situations.
Wells back on strike. Deep mid-wicket, kind of wide long on to that shorter leg side boundary. Carter to Wells. He's trying to work it to the leg side, just wraps him on the pad. Deflects back down the pitch and there's no run. He's a bit of a ferocious twirler of the bat, is Luke Wells. He's twirling away again. Down he comes towards Carter. It's hammered up to mid-off. Oh, sharp pick up and throw by Afridi. Trying to run Wells out. Got through for a quick single. Wells moves on to 21. Score moves on to 32 without loss.
Yeah, the game now, as a fielder, you're going to be under pressure every time. The batsmen are so quick, almost tip and run now.
Carter, with his off-spin from around the wicket, bowls to Salt, who goes back and works it to Carter. Pick up and throw towards the stumps. Nifty work off his own bowling, trying to run Phil Salt out. Kind of juggled it first.
He did, yeah. If it wasn't for the juggle, I think Phil Salt would have been struggling there. He ended up throwing the stumps down, but that little bit of juggling with the ball gave Salt an extra couple of meters.
Been let off by a good juggle. Final ball of the third. Here's Carter to Wells. He's down the pitch again. It's hit along the ground to long on, where Hales comes up from the boundary to complete the fielding. So that's 3 overs gone. 34 without loss. We've got a bloke dressed as a chicken, I think. Why not? I think it's a chicken.
Looks like a homemade chicken.
Sure, you could dress as a chicken, but why not?
The sun's shining. Why wouldn't you?
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. But looking for this opening, I mean, it's obviously quite early, isn't it? The blast will start before the football season's finished, but at least we've been fortunate to have good weather.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Definitely makes it. That's for sure. I'm sure with as the ground fills up, which it is already doing at the moment, you can see more and more seats being covered. The atmosphere in here will be great.
Let's see spin from both ends. So 2 overs of spin in this power play. We've had 3 overs of the match, so we're halfway through the power play, and Stephen Mullaney's turned to Samit Patel from the Jimmy Anderson end. Pulls around the wicket to Wells, up and over extra cover. Bouncing out towards the boundary, and all the way for 4 runs. 38 without loss.
Yeah, really didn't get much of that ball at all, but you could see what he was doing, trying to open up the offside. All the fielders in. It's a free hit if he can clear the ring, but he managed to only get half a bat on it, and therefore it only just managed to make it to the offside boundary.
Even half a bat was enough, wasn't it? Wells to 26 not out from 13 balls. Again, looking to hammer the ball away, but finds Mullaney. Bit mid-off. He's always got a smile, hasn't he, Stephen Mullaney?
He is, yeah.
He's a chirpy chappy. Bumped in the wicket. Patel to Wells. And once more. This time he got a hold of it much cleaner. 4 more this time. Again, over cover. Out towards the point.
Yeah,
42 without loss.
Lovely clean strike that. You could see the difference there. He was balanced. Crisp swing of the bat. And Samit Patel, who does like to dart the ball in full to the batsman, try and tie them up. He's going to have to think about his field here or his liner.
Patel around the wicket again to Wells, who's driving up to Mullaney, who bursts through his fingers. Mullaney at mid-off will catch up with it before it reaches the boundary. Wells comes back for 2. And, well, the first chance created, it was hit firmly, Stephen, wasn't it? Went straight to Mullaney.
It was pretty much exactly the same as the ball before, but this time Wells hit it straight at the fielder, and he'll be disappointed he didn't take that. It was going quick, but he should have taken it.
32 not out, Luke Wells. Patel bowls, that's heaved out through the onside. He doesn't time this one, and it just about bounces beyond the 30-metre circle. And he looks at his bat. Said, well, quite where I intended it to come off. 33 to Luke Wells, 45 without loss. Brings Salt back on strike. And Mullaney drops a man out towards the long-on boundary and deep mid-wicket boundary. The backward square leg. Short fine, short third. That's chipped up and over mid-off. Couple of bouncers for 4 runs. Beautiful shot from Phil Salt.
Yeah, a lovely shot that. Cleared the front leg. Just hit with the spin over mid-off from the crease. Beautiful timing as well. Out the long boundary there. And Lancashire are really motoring now. And there'll be some head scratching by Mullaney and the bowlers as to how they can try and put a little bit of the brakes on here.
Yeah, where do they find a breakthrough? We've got the look-alike competition going again on the...
Bit of Ted Lasso.
on the scoreboard. Pretty happy with that comparison, I think, that chap. He had a lovely beard, didn't he? 4 overs gone, 49 without loss. It's turning into a really good power play, this, for Lancashire Lightning. Notts Outlaws desperately trying to search for a breakthrough. They've gone back to Afridi. Over number 5. Luke Wells on strike. Here comes Afridi, running in from the Statham end. Well, that's defended, just jabbing the ball back down the pitch. It bounces beyond the reach of the bowler. Alex Hales comes up to complete the fielding. They get through for 1. And gets Lancashire to 50.
Yeah, brilliant start by Lancashire here. And I'm sure Mullaney and Notts would love to get a wicket here, just to try and just peg them back a little bit.
50 from 25 balls.
Looking very confident out there, the Lancashire. The batsmen have a swagger.
They do, don't they? There is a touch of the swagger about it, which I suppose you've got to have. T20 cricket, can't be shy, can you, I guess? No. Afridi to Salt. Just drops it to square leg and shuffles through for a quick single. Moves on to 17. Score moves on to 51 with that loss. Just a little thing like that is, I think playing here is important, isn't it? I mean, 6s and 4s are great, and that's what the crowd come to see. In terms of developing and building an innings, just a little turn to square leg, 3 for 1, perfect.
Absolutely, minimise the dots, and also, especially at Old Trafford, you know, turning 1s into 2s with the big boundaries, key to success.
Wells waiting, something tall in the crease. Back of length delivery, up and over point. It's going to be 4 more, flashed away by Luke Wells. Those big long arms of his came into the fore then. Gets himself 4 runs up and over point.
And it's gone into the hotel, it looks like it. So I'm not sure they've planned for that, but that was a beautiful shot. Just waiting. Freedy, pretty much a free hit there. Short, wide, sat up. And said, please hit me.
And we need the magic box of balls, the all-important box of balls, I think. Oh, no.
Nope.
No, we found it. Excellent. It's disappeared underneath the kind of the metal fence that's, I think, there to stop the ball going where it went.
Design flaw.
Yes.
I think that 3-foot gap underneath it is probably...
That's the issue with it, isn't it? Yeah. 55 without loss. Here's a Freedy. Full ball to Wells. That's a proper delivery, that, wasn't it? Yorker from Afridi. Wells digs it out, keeps the ball out, crucially from a Lancashire Lightning point of view.
And that is typical of the way that 2020 has gone now. You would never think of going Yorker, you know, in the power play. You always used to talk about being aggressive and hitting a length hard and putting pressure on the batsman, but nowadays, you know, Yorker is a must ball.
2 left of the 5th over. Afridi in. Forward as Wells, just squeezes the ball away off the front foot, up towards backward point, and there is no run. 55 without loss. Afridi will have bowled 2 overs after this, and presumably they want to keep him back for at least 1 towards the end, but Stephen Mullaney may be forced to turn back to Afridi, being just a little earlier than what he would have otherwise thought. Into Wells. Handsome looking dry, but straight into the ring of fielders on the offside, and can't get it past Lyndon James, a tall figure of Lyndon James. And that is the end of the 5th over. 55 without loss. Salt on 17, Wells on 38, not out. And we've got 1 over left of the power play, and I think Lancashire Lightning will be pretty happy with how they've gone about things so far.
Yeah, these 2 batsmen are setting it up beautifully. Not quite sure what a good total is on this ground, with a long boundary and a short boundary on the other side, but they are definitely stacking their cards in their favour. Both batsmen looking really settled at the crease, and Nottinghamshire at the moment scratching their heads how to stem the flow.
In comes McCurr and bowls. Jags back in a little bit to Salt, who brings the bat down and works it away to the leg side. No run.
Yeah, that looked like it just, like you say, jagged back, which is a good sign for Lancashire. Put a decent total on here. That wicket's not going to get better.
With that in mind, little surprise that Lancashire win the toss and bat first then. No, if the pitch is not going to get any better. As McCurr bowls to Salt, that's cut down to backward point. Oh, and absolutely frantic looking single. It is Samit Patel at backward point, picked up and thrown towards the bowler's end. Salt wanted 1 then, didn't he? There's a bit of hesitation, but then, yeah, I take a single. Maybe a little bit closer than what he would have liked. 56 without loss. This is the final over of the power play. Wells back on strike. He's rattled up to 38. As he edged it, he has caught behind. McCurr strikes. Edge off the bat of Wells, taken by the keeper, Tom Moores. And McCurr strikes, and the Outlaws at last have themselves a breakthrough.
Yeah, that was a typical Old Trafford delivery there. Really came in, banged the wicket hard, tightened the batsman up, and Wells trying to hit that over long on cow corner area. All he could do was get a fine edge through to the keeper. But that's the kind of length that you often associate with Old Trafford bowler, really coming in, hitting the wicket hard, being aggressive, trying to tighten the batsman up. So he got the much-needed wicket for Nottinghamshire. And there'll be a bit more spring in their step after that. They needed that.
They did. That was starting to get rather uncomfortable, wasn't it, for the Notts Outlaws? But they've got the wicket in the power play. See the probability of a win. You see, I get a bit confused by these things.
I don't know how they do a prediction at this stage of the game.
But I like it though.
It's a good prediction with Lancashire Lightning 65%, Outlaws. I'll say 34, although the math doesn't add up because they got decimal points in there. Trying to be. Why put decimal points on?
Here comes McCurr. Balls to Croft. Again, that comes back into Croft. He's drilled up towards Mullaney at mid-off, and there is no run.
I mean, that's trying to pretend you're a little bit more sophisticated than you are, aren't you?
Having a decimal point.
My model's so good, I will do the prediction to a decimal point.
What was it, 65 points something, wasn't it?
I'd like to know what drove the point 5.
There's McCurr in and bowls, and Salt works a ball away just in front of square on the leg side, jogs through for a single. 58 for 1. Salt moves on to 19, brings Stephen Croft on strike. We've got 1 ball remaining of the first block of 6 power play overs.
I like seeing Crofty out there. It makes me feel like I'm not that old yet. So keep going, Crofty. You're flying the flag.
Still got some connection to the Lancashire team there, haven't you? McCurr to Croft. He's off the back foot and drives into the offside on the bounce to Patel at point. No run. End of the 6th over. 56 for 1. Salt 19 and Croft on 1. And Stephen Moore, former teammate of Stephen Croft, with us up here in the commentary box. We'll be hearing from Bumble and from Kate Cross as well. Kevin Howells will join us. So plenty of voices to keep you, I'm going to say entertained, but I'm having been a bit optimistic through the course of the evening. But 58 for 1 after 6. That is a pretty good power play for Lancs, Stephen.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. They've set the total up very nicely, and everybody in the change room will be feeling very positive now. And that's great. We're having so much depth as well. You can build that confidence. You can go hard, and you shouldn't see Lancashire take the foot off the gas now after that start.
Well, the captain's going to bring himself into the attack, Stephen Mullaney. Of course, the captaincy has been kind of that of Dan Christian for some time, hasn't it, Notts Outlaws, and Mullaney is their 4-day skipper, but with Dan Christian no longer Notts Outlaws player, Mullaney gets the job of skippering all formats, or at least the 2 formats for the Outlaws. As that's played off the back foot by Salt. Just easy the ball up towards mid-on. McCurr jogs up to complete the fielding. Salt moves on to 20. 59 for 1. And that brings Croft on strike. Recently, Stephen Croft brought up his 200th first-class game for Lancashire.
It's very impressive, that, isn't it?
Mullaney balls to Croft. Turns out across his pads out to deep backward square leg for 1. 60 for 1. He was the first Lancashire player to get to that landmark since Glenn Chappell did it. He reached his 200th first-class match in 2007. Some going, isn't it? Paul Horton on Thursday night reckons that he's probably his second 100, you know, went from 100 to 200 first-class games. Salt turns it to mid-wicket and there's no run. He reckons he would probably have a much superior record than his first. Just kind of getting better as he gets older a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely become more consistent, that's for sure. That experience is really paying dividends for him.
Here's Mullaney. That's driven by Salt. Again, can't find a way past extra cover. And there is no run. Colin Munro lurking around inside the circle at extra cover for the Outlaws. Mullaney shuffles his way back in again. Balls to Salt. Bit of width this time. carved away into the offside. Afridi out on the cover boundary fields. Salt moves on to 21. And Lancashire Lightning here at Emirates Old Trafford on Lancs TV, 5 Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website and app. A 61 for 1 with 1 ball remaining of the 7th. And Stephen Croft's back on strike. Mullaney comes over the wicket. Full length ball, hit back down the ground, bursts through the fingertips of Mullaney, so it's a dot ball to end the over. And that's the calmest over of the innings, isn't it? A few thoughts from you with that, Stephen, as we see a Stephen Croft lookalike on the screen, and then Kevin Howells is coming in.
Yeah, no, that's a much better over for Nottinghamshire, and they should be trying to spin around here and apply a little bit of pressure to Lancashire by getting through these overs now. They got a wicket, and you can see the difference in taking the pace off there. 1 minute you got Shaheen Afridi bowling 90 miles an hour, and then next minute you got Mullaney bowling best part of 70. And it's quite difficult to adjust, but that was a very good over for Nottinghamshire.
Sammy Patel's about to bowl. Hello again, everybody. We've had a good day here at Emirates Old Trafford. First with the Charlotte Edwards, and now with the Vitality Blast. And what a shot that is! One bounce over the rope, it's 4 through deep extra cover off the bat of Salt. And the crowd, which has been building all afternoon into this early Saturday evening, I think are in for a real treat. Already being treated, but I think there's plenty more to come. 65 for 1 in the 8th over.
Yeah, that's a fantastic shot. You can't give Phil Salt that kind of width outside the off stump, and he absolutely smashed that.
Samit again around the wicket. This time it's in the same-ish sort of direction, but it's along the ground. It's just going to be a single. It's out there through more conventional extra cover area, and 66 for 1 with Salt. 17 balls faced for his 26. Croft on 2. Still showing the young lads how it should be done. Terrific. I just love the Croft story and the fact that he goes out there, and yeah, he often shows them how it should be done and can be done.
He's a proper professional. He's a proper campaigner, and it's a testament, to be a physical cricketer like he is. He throws himself around the field, and to be selectable, keep himself fit all these years is brilliant.
Samit Patel again. This time it's to Croft, and Croft will again find a gap just to the left of the man at extra cover, out to the deeper area, out towards that boundary. It's a long boundary out there. Get 2 runs. I mean, all for cricket and the way that things happen and the camaraderie between the two teams. Phil Salt a couple of balls ago just smashed Samit Patel. He finds himself down at the same end as Samit a couple of balls later and gets Samit to do his bootlaces up for him. That's not
Too
on,
right.
is it? 68 for 1 in the 8th over. And again, Croft will find a run or 2. Again, good running. I mean, it's a long way out there. And they make good use of that space to pick up another couple of runs. And Croft to 6, and the score to 70 for 1 in the 8th over.
And this is what Lancashire do, and Croft showing all his experience, working the angles in the ground. 2 runs every time.
Patel again in. It's in the air, and it's been caught. Good catch, sliding to the right at backward point, taken really well by Conor McCurr, the man on loan, and he's worth it for that catch. An important wicket. 2 wickets down now. It's 70 for 2 in the 8th over.
Yeah, that's a nice catch, that. Croft just done ball, just slid on a little bit. He didn't quite manage to get a good bat on it. It sliced off the face of the bat. Didn't get into that gap on the offside and just managed to lob. But a good catch, moving to his right, down low. Croft will be disappointed with that.
We're talking of campaigners, international campaigners. On comes Daryl Mitchell now. And Salt just punches gloves with him. Has a bit of a word. What will they be saying? So presumably this is the chat of what's it doing, how's the pitch playing. Don't tell me it's about what pizza you're having later. And what's he saying to him? How do you think it is playing at the moment?
He'll be, asking for validation about, is the wicket playing the way we spoke about before the game, or is there any differences essentially, and anything major that they haven't discussed? But normally there'll be just a bit of a pat on the back and say, "Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Good luck. Enjoy."
Sometimes it is when there's 8 or 9 wickets down. Good luck. But it isn't that case at the moment. Patel in bowls, and Mitchell shows that bit of respect into the offside to complete that over 8 overs, 70 for 2. Salt on 26 off 17. Mitchell has just gone out there, but Croft's out for 6. Caught McCurr off the bowling of Patel, and Patel now has picked up 1 wicket, but for 24 runs. And at 2 overs, is Mullaney to continue? It looks if it is. Mullaney, 3 runs coming from his first over. So they're off to a cracking start. Clearly, the score will tell you that. And now into this different period of play. I'm delighted to say that David Lloyd Bumble's with us. Get his views on what he's seen so far the first 8 overs, and every ball to come in the next few at the moment. Let's see how quickly you're going to get this game going. There were worrying signs for me in blast-off day a week ago that we were down to IPL-type timings where things just got dragged out a bit, but I don't think so. I think they're picked up in time-wise, and that one is a shot which has been picked up and drilled down here to long off the bat of Salt. What a lovely atmosphere as well, getting right behind the team. It is a good place to come and watch and enjoy your cricket here, and on what a night. Glorious, glorious weather. 71 for 2 in the 9th over, and Mitchell is going to face his first ball from Mullaney. Good evening to you, David.
Good evening, Kevin. 200's on here. You play on this pitch for weeks on end. This is the 4th match that's been played on it. It's done nothing. It's an absolute road.
Mullaney runs away from us. It's from the Statham end, and he's bowling to Mitchell. And Mitchell will find a gap. Nice looking shot, but it's just along the ground. He'll get himself 1 and have to settle for 1. Keen to be coming back looking for the second, but it's not there, just the 1. He's off the mark, 72 for 2 in the 9th.
It's a big boundary to that leg side, but you're hitting with the wind to the new building, to the new hotel, which seems to be coming on, and they say he'll be ready for the test match. Very impressive.
It has come on since I was last year, just a few weeks ago. Mullaney bowls and played behind square offside this time by Salt, who really has been blistering tonight, but he's just checking himself a little, and he just picks up another couple and moves to 29. He's scored 4 fours so far in his knock. Just gone 7 o'clock. I say we've been here watching cricket since 2:30 this afternoon. It's been terrific stuff, and the crowd have been lapping up in both games. Mullaney bowls again, full in the air. What a glorious shot that is, out through extra cover. Power, precision as well, because there's nobody out there. It's 4 runs.
Bit of width, full of length from Mullaney. He's not quick by any stretch. Wicket-keeper Moores is up to the stumps, but he gets the width. The pitch is so true. I mentioned 200, they're going to need all of that. 190, 200. This pitch will not change.
Mullaney again comes in. Shortest sort of run-up. He's into Salt, and Salt this time just has to play maybe a slower ball just back to him. A little straighter. It was Wells who got off to the flyer of 38 off 23 before he was caught by the keeper off Bonnie McCurr for the 38 off 23, and Croft 6 off 7. But Salt out of that opening stand of 56. First wicket falling in the 6th over. This one is worked to the right, and again it's a dot ball. Mullaney getting across, so he now has gone for 11 from his 2 overs. 8 coming from that one in the end. 78 for 2 after 9 overs. But what a picture, and at last we have some summer weather, David. Some summer weather for our summer sport.
Well, the ground's warmed up as well. And of course, I'm in North Yorkshire now, and everybody's saying we need some rain. We've got to be some rain. Everything's getting too dry. But I always marvel when I come here to Emirates Old Trafford and look at the pitch, and somebody will say, can you do a pitch report? There's no point. They're always the same. They're absolutely fantastic. Patel will continue. Left arm spin, he's done okay.
1 for 24 from his 2 overs. He bowls now, and that's uppish, but it's going to be safe, and it's going to be well stopped in the end out there at long off. In the shadows being cast off that wonderful, iconic traditional pavilion, the one that everybody knows around the world here at Old Trafford. I'm so pleased amongst all the changes that stayed where it is, and then the more modern looking building out there. Again, the shadow being cast off the point as we look out here from our vantage point to the left, and the pavilion immediately in front of us on the right. And that one is carved and cut behind square on the offside for 1 off the bat of Salt. He moves to 34 off 23 and 80 for 2 in the 10th over.
I'm sure that the coaches and the analysts would have said when Patel comes on his 4 overs on this pitch, he's got to go 35 to 40.
Round again he comes, and this is in the air. It's going to be a 4 because there's a big gap, a wide gap out there. There's a man on the cover boundary sweeping out there, and also wide at long off, but it's right in between, right towards Lanky actually out there, but he can't do anything about it. It's a 4, and it's 84 for 2 in the 10th. Patel again into Mitchell, who's moved to 6. He reverses this one. They'll have to be quick about it. Sharp throw, but they go through for 1. Settle for 1. The throw actually wasn't that great in direction in the end from McCurr, but it was good backing up, which in the end persuaded Salt and Mitchell that it was better if they stayed where they were. Which means Mitchell's moved to 7 and Salt's on 34. Patel again. Past the umpire, bowls and into the bowled him! He's bowled him, and a stump has come out there at 85 for 3 in the 10th over, and Samit Patel's taken a wicket. He can't quite believe it. It's high fives all around there. He'll be delighted with that wicket. Terrific stuff.
Well, he's fired it in. There's absolutely no flight from Samit Patel. He knows that they're going to come after him, but he fires that in from around the wicket, and he's looking to pull it away leg side to that shorter boundary, and it skids on. It's not going to spin. You don't get much spin for finger spinners here, but it's fired in. It's so quick. No chance of any flight in the air. He picks his 2nd wicket up. I think he's doing all right. Patel coming to the end of his 3rd over. 2 for 31, 85 for 3.
Salt 34 off 24 balls, and Liam Livingstone gets a cheer. He's back. He's captain. He's captain until Keaton Jennings gets himself fit again, but he's been away on the IPL. He was captain, of course, for a time before here at Lancashire. By his own admission, he has grown up. He's grown into the role. He's grown into an international cricketer. Playing in franchise around the world, IPL of course as well, and he's back leading the team. Didn't get to see him bat the other day. Now they've got that to cheer here at Emirates Old Trafford. He makes his way to the middle at 85 for 3 with 1 ball left of the 10th.
I interviewed 3 or 4 guys who've come. They said they'd come all the way from the Punjab to watch him. He plays for our team. We've come to watch him. I mean, he's a super player. You say he's a genuine international player.
Well, let's see how he gets on with this ball from Samit Patel. He's just got a wicket as Patel, and he's punched that one up towards the wide long off. He'll go through for 1. 10 overs gone, midway through at 86 for 3. David Lloyd.
56 miles an hour, that last delivery. There's absolutely no chance when you look at the pure left-arm spinners who've come in rhythmically and bowl with a little bit of flight and guile and dip and drop. No, Samit Patel just come in and fire it in as fast as you can. He's bowled 3 overs now and he's picked up 2 wickets.
Terrific stuff from Samit. 2 for 32 from 3 overs. And Mullaney will continue again. This is his 3rd over. He's gone for 11 so far. And because of that single picked up off the last ball, of course, Livingstone is still on strike. Just has a bit of a look around him. Let's see if he's going to tee off and at what point. What delivery will be passed his way first. Well, the decent length and worked away behind square on the onside. He'll just head down, jog through for a single, and he'll move on to 2 and take the score to 87 for 3 in the 11th.
Mullaney's just sneaking in here. He's into his 3rd over. He's only gone for 11. It's slow bowling. He's not spinning it. He's not quick. It's just slow bowling.
Mullaney again in bowls. And this time it is in the air. It comes out towards us. Oh! To McCurr. Can he stop it from going to the boundary?
No.
Drop catch. And it's also gone for 4.
Oh, that's a big moment. Straight to him. Looking for a big 6. He hits it flat. He makes a right hash of this. Huge moment in the game. Oh, catch it. I'm looking at the replay. Catch it. Oh, it bursts through his hands and it goes for 4.
Took a catch earlier. Didn't take that one. 91 for 3 in the 11th over. High, high, high. How far has this gone? This one isn't for McCurr. This is a 6. This is what he was looking for earlier. No chance of a catch there. It's a 6. Crowder on their feet, lapping it up.
Let's have a look at McCurr again. Huge moment. And this is an effortless shot. As he walks down the pitch, again the replay, the arrogance, the ego in the shot. Fabulous.
And they talk about a field placing. Well, unless they talk about that field placing just 6 or 7 yards the other side of the boundary, I'm not too sure. But Mitchell has moved to 17 off 7. We talk about Livingstone now to entertain. What about Mitchell? Well, we know he does it. We know what he can do. He again has been around the world showing his skills, showing his talents. And right now the stage is Manchester on this Saturday evening. Early stages of the Vitality Blast 2023, and Mulaney of the Outlaws in and bowls. Again, not too much pace on that, worked away through mid-wicket, and he will get a single. A little bit of a chat between Mulaney and the bowler as well. All friendly, I'm sure. 98 for 3, 2 balls left to the 11th.
Just the experience of Mitchell, and that's the way that Lancashire Lightning have gone with the grand arm and Mitchell, vastly experienced.
Again, it's Mulaney coming into Livingston. Livingston just drills along the ground towards mid-wicket. No round, takes a look at the bottom end of his bat, toe end of the bat. I'm not so sure why do they do that? To see was that are they telling the toe end of the bat off or something when they look at it? Livingston on 2 and punched again, just out of the grasp, not quite actually. Decent bit of tumbling fielding there to prevent any runs being scored. Joe Clark doing the fielding. Well, 11 overs, what an eventful over. 98 for 3. Livingston on 2, Mitchell on 18. And Mulaney now has gone for 23 runs from those 3 overs.
And it has to do. Again, I talk about the coaches and the analysts. When a bowler comes on, if he bowls the 4, he's got to go the distance. 12 from that over there. You can't afford drop catches. And it was pretty straightforward to McCurr at long on. Field set for that.
Almost as if he'd gone past it.
He sort of charged at it, and there was a good 5 metres between him and the boundary, and the ball went for boundary as it burst through his hands.
Yeah, didn't get himself in the right place. And probably on realising that, that's when it burst through the hands, thinking, I'm not in the right place for this, and through it goes. Mitchell's on 18, 8 balls faced, 2 4s and a 6. Next over, it's not Summit, it's Lyndon James. Exciting talent for the future. There's one more to the total. It's signalled late by our umpire. Started this 12th over, 99 for 3.
I'm just wondering whether that, I've not seen Lyndon James before, whether that delivery was a slower delivery. It's come up at 73 miles an hour. Now, is that his normal pace, or has he got a little bit more?
I've not seen a great deal of him either, David, to know.
It's a long run up.
I was going to say, if that's all they can conjure up from this. It is a long one. He started, by the way. I'll tell you when he gets there. Now he gets there. And this one is square on the offside. There's a fielder out there. They get down to it well. It's just 1 run. Livingston to 3. Brings up the 100 for 3 in the 12th over. Applause from the crowd as well. Good applause. Getting right behind their team.
8 overs to go. 10 and over, 12 and over. Looking for 200.
James's 3rd delivery. That's his opening over, and he's in now. Tall, blonde-haired figure. Reaching for a little there, Mitchell, but gets enough on it to push it out to the offside for 1. He moves to 19, 101 for 3 in the 12th.
That's his pace. That last delivery, 69. He's bowled a 72 and a 73, so that's his pace.
It is a long run up. It's from the circle, isn't it? It's well beyond.
Yep.
No, just on the circle, and turns now and runs in towards us. As I say, that shadow really been cast out across the ground now, and doesn't get hold of that cleanly as Livingston. In fact, I swear he was looking for that on the offside, and it's ended up there at long on. He moves to 4. Takes Lancashire 102 for 3 in the 12th.
I wonder if Lancashire players have seen much of Lyndon James, because he's got this very long run-up, and it's an aggressive run-up, but he's bowling medium pace.
Well, Lyndon James, of course, part of this group of players who, from COVID years on, have sort of rejuvenated again Nottinghamshire. I to be careful how I phrase that rejuvenated, as it's driven along the ground here by Mitchell for a single, because they've always been there and thereabouts, but they found themselves in the 2nd division. They and went for a long run, couldn't get a first-class win for well over a year. Got one at Derbyshire a couple of years ago, which broke that record. And Lyndon James was part of that homegrown group of players. And I think Nick Newell, by his own admission there, said, well, you know, during the COVID time we had to look more at our own players, and quite a few of them took their opportunity. Livingston's on 4. Next ball just sits up a little slower, and almost like a tennis shot, slammed down into the ground. Sliding relay stop, 2 runs in the end. And that completes that first over. So 12 overs gone, 105 for 3. So 6 runs coming from Lyndon James's over there. The one thing I wanted just to get your thoughts on, you were talking about Mulaney. Actually, in that over, he went for a lot of runs in the end. But this competition and this format, these bowlers that come in, they do that. And their over's completed, and the team will look and they say, oh, you got 4 or 5 runs off that, and it's been and gone.
Well, they sneaked on and sneaked off, and there have been some wonderful slow bowlers. And just going back over the years, Basil Barwick, he used to put the fear of everybody. Anybody that played against him for Glamorgan could never fathom him out. Just a slow bowler, medium pace, deadly accurate. Dermot Reeve, another fantastic bowler at that sort of pace. A thinker.
So this is Carter coming back on. So spin at this end as well, this near end. Carter bowled 1 over, went for 8 runs earlier. Matt Carter. He's a tall lad, very tall lad. He comes around the wicket. In again, this is in the air. Now this has gone a long, long, long way. It's a 6. Wide to our right-hand side, and wide long on. Treating the crowd with another maximum, 111 for 3 in the 13th over.
That's high. And again, I'd have, if it were me, if I'm coaching this lot, I'd have it on the whiteboard, get Carter.
In he comes again, a little fuller this time, worked away square leg side for 1. 112 for 3. 13th over. Yeah, a tall bowler, and off his bowling, a very tall, steep shot, which brought up a 6. What can he do now? He's bowling to Livingston, who's on 6. Again, just the puff of dust punched away onto the one side. Mitchell was down there very quickly looking to see if Livingston was there, ready coming back for it too. He was barely halfway down the track.
Not interested, he just had a stroll. Batting to come, de Grandon, Bell, Hartley.
Yeah, I think this is such a strong squad Lancashire putting out, and they find a run there off Mitchell's bat. 28. We talked about it briefly the other day. 114 for 3 in the 13th over. Of course, Lancashire have been strong, never mind for years, for decades in limited overs cricket, and certainly in T20 they've been there, you know, always competing. But I'm looking at this squad and I think, has there really ever been a stronger one? This ball now, low full toss, drilled along the ground. There should be a man just down to our left-hand side, and that is Alex Hales, who gets a little bit of a jeer or a cheer from the home crowd as he does the fielding. 1 run, 115 for 3, 1 ball left to the 13th. And the point that was made by Mark Chilton, Director of Cricket, of course, is, well, they don't always get the option of getting some of their star names back from the IPL quite so early, as Carter is in and bowls, and again, that one is played out onto the onside. They'll go through for 2. And we'll get more from David Lloyd a little later, but it's 13 overs gone now, 117 for 3. Livingston on 8, Mitchell on 30. That 8 off 9 balls, Mitchell 30 off 15. And Carter has gone for 20 runs from his 2 overs. Delighted to say Kate Cross is back alongside me. I tell you, there was somebody looked just like you out there this afternoon doing some bowling. Did quite well.
Yeah.
You must have enjoyed that. Congratulations.
Thank
You got
you.
your first win under your belt in the competition. You'll be delighted.
Yeah, no, we really needed that as a team. We've had a tough start to the whole season. The Rachel Hayhoe as well as the Charlotte Edwards Cup. So a bit of confidence in the dressing room. I thought we played exceptionally well, to be fair. I thought we were the better team.
Livingston's on 8 from 9. We'll get your thoughts on this one. You've been watching back of the commentary box. Livingston facing now, a little bit of width out into the offside, straight to the fielder. Thoughts?
It's just great to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. I'm having a lot of fun here today. Both games.
Thank you.
No, seriously. Why are you looking at me like that? Seriously,
I was being
driving.
sincere.
Good. I was driving to the ground today, thinking to myself, we've got 2 matches to look forward to this afternoon. And I'll tell you for why I was so much looking forward to them. James coming in and bowling. Oh, and that's gone high over, and it's been signalled a no ball. Looping. I'm not surprised, looping over the batter there. And it was because in both cases, for the women's match and for the men's game, something had to give. For differing reasons. By your own admission, you know, you've not had a great start, so the 2 teams without a win. What's going to give in that game? What's going to give here in the men's game between 2 strong-looking squads? That's what I mean. Genuine looking, and it's met my match so far in expectation. Both the matches, long way to go in this one. And width there, 2 wide this time. So Lyndon James is struggling in this over.
I'll tell you what I love about this Lancashire team is just how fearless they are when they bat. It doesn't matter who's out there, who comes in.
Luke Wells has been setting the tone superbly for them.
It's fearless, and I just want, if I may just pick on something I heard in some quotes from Sean Abbott following his 34-ball 100 from last night.
A bit slow, actually.
Next ball, puff of dust onto the leg side. They'll go through for one. And he was talking of the team in this sort of format. Well, in any format, I guess, but in this format as well. You know, you talk about being fearless, but confident that if it doesn't work out for the top 4 or 5, and you know about this because the way you come, you're still expected to perform now, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not just everybody has to do their bit.
Yep.
James is in his second over, and he struggled so far. But he's bowling to Mitchell, who's on 30, and that's along the ground just for 1, and the score moves to 122 for 3 in the 14th over.
And I think that's the thing about the short format game, is that the really crucial moments are only small parts of the game, but if you lose them, they could be the difference between you winning and losing the game. That's what we've found. We've done some bits very, very well, other bits not so well, but the bits that we've done not so well have lost us games.
James midway through this over still, because he's bowled a couple which haven't counted, so to speak. Now where's that gone? It's beaten everybody. It's racing along the ground over the rope wide to our right hand side. A deep extra cover way out there just in front of the hotel, and they're out on their balconies lapping it up as well with a 4 for the home side to 126 for 3 in the 14th.
That basically went past Mulaney's right foot at extra cover. I'm not sure whether he didn't see it.
Well, I
or
lost
just
it.
The power of Liam Livingstone.
Yeah, mind you, I've got more of an excuse than he has out down there. James bowls again. It's gone offside. This time behind square. There is a man out there, Conor McKerr, who took 1 catch but dropped and absolutely howled it down there. They get a single, and 1 ball left to the over, 127 for 3. Upon those moments of what you're just talking about, you know, big moments, big moments.
Yeah, we lost 4 catches when we were down, dropped 4 catches down at Storm, and they all went for boundaries. And that's, you think 16 runs, it should have been 4 dot balls and 4 wickets, and it is just those really small margins.
Mitchell on 31, and again into the offside, just almost dabbed away there. They've got the power, but they've also got the space to work with, and they make good use of it. 14 overs gone, 128 for 3. Livingston 14 off 14. Mitchell 32 off 17. James eventually got through that second over. He's gone for 17 runs. More from you, Kate, and then it'll be Scott Reed coming in.
Yeah, it's been a really great start. I think, like I said, Luke Wells set the tempo. Phil Salt obviously continuing his form from when he's been over in the IPL. Just got back from the Delhi Capitals. I find it absolutely fascinating. You've got a team that's leaving Dane Villas out, though, and he's obviously been such a huge part of this white ball setup here at Lancs for a couple of years now. But the overseas is so strong that you're leaving out someone who is actually going to start the tournament as captain.
I know, it's weird, that, isn't it? And there's a certain... Hey, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
And there's a certain Jay Butler coming back next week as well, isn't there?
Yeah, heard he's available for a few games as well.
10 matches?
Wow. I don't think he'd have played 10.
I don't.
For Lancs in his history.
I agree. It's Mulaney in bowling. Oh, he's drilled by Mitchell back down the pitch, and well, Mulaney, you can tell, sat on his backside. That's gone to him.
It's a difficult chance that it's gone really low, almost shin height, but he had it. Be disappointed with that. A few drop catches here from Notts. They've a little bit sloppy in the field.
He had it, and then he dropped it. 128 for 3. So Mitchell instead hammers it over long on, all the way for 6.
How many times do you see that in T20 cricket? A drop catch followed by a boundary. I think the ball before Mitchell just stopped himself playing it, but that was full swing.
That's not going to improve Mulaney's mood, is it, that? I mean, he's quite chipper, isn't he, normally? But that might not be at the minute. No, he's not.
Yeah,
he is. 134 for 3. Mitchell on 38. Mulaney in, bowls. Reverse sweeps it. Stopped inside the circle. But Mitchell gets a single. That's a 50 partnership from 29 balls.
What this team does very well, other than absolutely moose boundaries, is that they rotate the strike. There won't have been many dot balls that Lancashire have faced in this innings, I don't think. Certainly less than 10.
In comes Mulaney again, balls. It's nudged away to mid-wicket by Livingstone. He's played it as if he wants to come back for 2, and Mitchell sends him back. Mulaney just catch it with it at mid-wicket, right at the edge of the 30-metre circle. But the intent's there, isn't it? To try and come back for a second, I guess. Which I think is something that Thunder did very well today.
Yeah, we ran exceptionally well. I think the tone was set by Liberty Heap and Emma Lamb.
Mulaney to Mitchell. Reverse sweeps it again, gets it away for 4 this time. Carter's inside the ring. It's gone to his right-hand side. Was short third, he's short fine on the reverse, and it's 4 more runs to Daryl Mitchell.
A shot like that goes to show kind of the homework that Lancashire will have done on Stephen Mulaney, and they're going to treat him like a spinner. Come down the track, use your feet. He's obviously doesn't bowl with a lot of pace, but he bowls with a lot of variations. The fact that you can reverse sweep him, I think, goes to show the mindset of this Lancashire team.
140 for 3. Mulaney to Mitchell. It's flashed away along the ground through mid-wicket. Clark comes up to field from deep mid-wicket. Mitchell gets a single, moves on to 44. 141 for 3. 15 overs gone, 5 remain. It looks a belter of a pitch, Kate.
Yeah, it is. It's the same pitch we played on Thursday, and if anything, it was slightly slow, which is obviously what you'd expect with a couple of days sunshine on it. But yeah, we wanted to bat first because we thought if it's going to deteriorate, then it might be in the second innings. But yeah, it's still a great pitch.
It is a belting pitch. Looks like Manchester Airport's busy today.
Doing a flyby.
The big bird coming into land. 141 for 3 in this T20 fixture here at Emirates Old Trafford. And it's Samit Patel into Daryl Mitchell. And that's hit firmly through the offside. And comes back for 2. So, Kate, you've made my season.
Have I? So done.
Because the first ball, the first over of the T20 match, wicket maiden, first over of the game.
Yeah, unusual that, isn't it?
Oh, that's made my season. Patel bowls to Mitchell, through to the keeper. Oh, it's actually been signals are wide.
The umpire actually, the first ball that I bowled, it did quite a bit. It kind of swung in, swung away, swung in again. And then when I got the wicket, the second ball, the umpire said, "You set her up with that first ball."
Patel bowls to Mitchell. It's driven into the offside. They get through for a quick single. Moves on to 47. 145 for 3. That must feel proper good. That.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Of the match.
Especially, I've had a really difficult start to the summer actually, with stop-start cricket and not being able to get any consistency with games and training.
Livingston on 15 waits for Patel. Let's drill through the offside. Gets through for 1. 146 for 3.
And then the pressure that you feel as an England player coming back into this team is that, you know, people look to you to change games and take wickets and score runs. And I found that really difficult actually, the mindset of trying to get myself fit and healthy, but then also try and turn up and perform for the team. So it's been great to be back. I've loved being back these last 2 days, and great playing at this venue.
Patel to Mitchell. Again, takes a single. Hit through mid-off. Mitchell moves on to 48, 147 for 3.
He's got a really unusual field here, Samit Patel. He's got deep cover, deep extra cover, long off, long on, and a cow. You could see Mitchell just shuffled across his stumps then to try and expose that square leg which was in the ring and has now gone out for Liam Livingston.
Yeah, Livingston back on strike. Patel to Livingston. Again, forces the ball away. It's bouncing down the ground towards Montgomery, who comes up from long off to field. Just the 1. 48 for 3.
So you can see Samit Patel is going to try and hide the ball outside the off stump. He's got to go full with this field. Can't allow Mitchell to get down and sweep him.
Fine leg comes into the ring as Patel fizzes one a bit quicker, and Mitchell hits it up and over backward point down towards the boundary. And he'll come back for 2. And think of a third. There isn't 3 there. And that's a 50 for Daryl Mitchell. Brings up the 150 for Lancashire Lightning. And it's a half century in the blast. His first one in the red shirt of Lancashire.
He's enjoying Emirates Old Trafford, isn't he? He started with that 100 here in the Championship. 50 off 26 balls. I think Lancashire will be eyeing up 200 here. They bowled superbly, I thought, on Thursday. They assessed the pitch really well. Luke Wood, I thought, bowled really well. And it's great to see Saqib Mahmood back as well.
Yeah, he had a rotten 12 months, hasn't he? Yeah, Wood bowled beautifully in the power play, didn't he, on Thursday night? Well, Bumble reckons you need 200 at least on this pitch.
Yes, I think especially with the short side to the offside that we're looking at now. It's got the longer boundary out to where the new hotel is. It's difficult to field on the offside boundary, you know, because it comes out of a white building now.
Okay.
Everywhere else is red.
Right.
And you've got the white building now.
Do we know why that's not red? I don't know why that's not red.
It actually annoys me. Because there's so much symmetry at this ground. And then that's not the same.
No.
And it's wound me up.
Maybe I'll get a lick of paint at some point.
I suggest it.
Comes McCurr in and balls to Livingston. I mean, he doesn't time it, but he gets the ball away, picked up by Moores. Tom Moores, the keeper, running away to short fine leg. So Livingston moves on to 18. 151 for 3.
It's an unusual innings for Liam Livingston, this. He's having to graft quite hard for his runs. He's going at 1 ball at the moment. What he's doing is getting Daryl Mitchell on strike, though, and letting him do the damage at the other end.
Yeah, he's hitting it pretty well, isn't he? 50 from 26, Mitchell. Here's McCurr in and balls. Deflects, I think, off the thigh pad down towards fine leg. Yeah, leg bite signalled by the umpire, so it's 1-5-2 for 3 now.
I was so excited to see Shaheen Afridi bowl here.
Yeah, it's a proper superstar signing, that, isn't it?
And then Phil Salt just took the mick out of him.
He did. He's got 2 overs left, Afridi, so we'll see him again at some point.
Wow.
Livingston. That is a monster hit. That is into the building site. It's into the new hotel complex. Out towards deep mid-wicket. He hit that, and it stayed hit.
He must have heard me. I've just been saying it's unusual for him to go at 1 ball, and that's the kind of thing we're used to seeing Liam Livingston do here at Emirates Old Trafford. That is a proper hit. You know it's good when you just stand there and watch it. Don't run.
He stood there and admired it. That's a big, big blow for 6. Livingston moves on to 24. Here's McCurr. Back into Livingston. Swats the ball away again through the onside. He's picked up by Alex Hales. Livingston comes back for 2.
Lancashire have always got to think that Alex Hales, if he can get going for Notts, then that's the danger man. We'll obviously want to take quick wickets and early wickets in the power play, but that's where that 200 is going to be quite crucial, I think, against this Notts team.
There's 2 balls left, the 17th over, then 3 remain to see if Lancashire can push up to and beyond 200. A few more of those Livingston shots and they'll get there. McCurr to Livingston, but that's fizzed in. Down the leg side. Liam Livingston kind of looks back towards the umpire and says, well, why is that not a wide?
He must have thought it came off his boot or his pads. Definitely looked like a leg side wide from up here.
It did, didn't it? It's bowler's union though, Kate. You should be on McCurr's
Yeah, never
side,
a wide that.
In to complete the over balls
Wow.
again. Livingston goes again. It's even bigger. Whew. Oh, blimey, that's a huge hit out towards the hotel on the mid-wicket boundary. That is an absolutely mega hit. Try and find that if you can.
To put that shot into perspective, if that building wasn't there, that would have gone out of the ground. That's how big that was. Oh, he's just picked it up. It was just a little bit full.
166 for 3. 2 big, big shots for 6 in that over. Livingston now moves on to 32. He looked like he was scratching around for runs, trying to get himself into the game, and all of a sudden he explodes. And then some.
I'm pretty sure air traffic control were on the blower there to that big double-decker that was flying past there. Everyone had, the pilots had their heart in their mouth. That was an absolute monster.
Well, we know he can hit it. There's a show reel full of Liam Livingston shots, so one of them cleared the stand in Headingley. Those 2 big, big hits. boundary's a mile away, isn't it? But, well, we mentioned about these. It doesn't really matter for these.
That's over 100 metres comfortably. That's huge.
166 for 3. So Afridi comes back into the attack. He's going to bowl 2 of these final 3 overs. To Daryl Mitchell. Just flicked off the hip. A little uppishly, but safe enough. The leg side fielder all back on the rope. So Mitchell moves on to 51 not out. 167 for 3, as you can hear. Stephen Moore is back alongside me. What do you reckon, 200 kind of minimum?
Yeah, these two are strutting their stuff now. It'll be interesting this because Shaheen will want to hit the wicket here. He's got a bit of extra pace, but both these batsmen are looking set, and that's a short leg side boundary. So, yeah, I don't know if I need to move my car or not.
Possibly, yeah. Afridi bowls to Livingston. That's squirted out towards long on and gone. Alex Hales comes up from the boundary. Afridi celebrates his first wicket for the Notts Outlaws. Liam Livingston's work with the bat is done for the night. Caught by Hales at long on. And Lancashire Lightning lose their 4th wicket, 167 for 4.
Oh, that's quality bowling there by Afridi. Shaheen, they're just pushing the ball across Livingston, expecting him to bring it back in and hit the deck hard, but he just pushed it across him. Good length, tightened him up, and all he could do was chip it down long on's throat. Fantastic bowling, and the end to what looked like it was going to be an explosive finish for Livingston.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you watch these guys, as Kate was making the point that I think Kate said it's a bit of a frustrated, it seems like a frustrated night for Liam Livingston. Couldn't quite seem to get going, but I think these guys just back themselves just too hard. At some point it'll come. You know, at some point I'll get one to smoke out the ground.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, form is temporary and class is permanent. But yeah, the way these guys strut themselves around the 2020 ground now, even if they are being a bit scratchy, I can tell you, inside they are absolutely confident that all it takes is one out the middle and it's a different game.
167 for 4. So De Grandon is the new batter. Afridi in, that's flashed off the pads down towards deep backward square leg. There's a race on here. Dive comes in and the ball's flicked back. They'll run 3 in the end. Colin Munro does ever so well to save in the end what's turned out to be 1 run, but it could be crucial for his team. Looked like that might beat the dive of Munro, but did ever so well to flick it back. 170 for 4. That's got the 2 New Zealanders out in the middle for Lancashire Lightning. The 2 Kiwis there, that Lancashire's 2 overseas signings, Mitchell and De Grandon. Got Afridi tearing his way in. Bowls to Mitchell, who flicks it up towards mid-wicket, up and over, and caught, no, put down in the crowd. 6 for Mitchell, 176 for 4. It's a ridiculous shot off Afridi.
It's just a nonchalant flick. I mean, 90 mile an hour into the pads, and all he's done is just flick it with his bottom hand, and it sails into where the stands will be for the Ashes, or the stage for the Arctic Monkeys. Beautiful shot. The spectator who's dropped that is now getting ribbed by his mates, and he looks distraught.
He does. He looks gutted. Yep. Lovely, a great follow through from Mitchell, wasn't it? A little flurry of the bat, as if almost encouraging the ball up and over the rope. Afridi bowls again, hit high, back over his head. This is 6 more with a bit of VAT on it. Successive 6s for Mitchell off Afridi. 1 out towards deep mid-wicket, 1 over long on, 182 for 4.
If the one before was a nonchalant flick, that was a disdainful smash back over his head there. It wasn't a bad delivery, really. Maybe a little bit too full on length, but he just smashed it back over his head.
63 from 30, Daryl Mitchell. 5 6s and 3 4s in that. Afridi bowls again. Turns him round and he defends back down the friction. A rather grumpy fast bowler picks it up and says to De Grandon, get back in your crease, as he mocks shy at the stumps from Afridi. It's a bit of a brutal over. It's pushed Lancashire up to 182 for 4 after 18 overs, so 2 remain. And we mentioned that the ball has been into the building site a few times. Well, the look-alike, he's now Bob the Builder on the big screen, and it's picked out the construction worker on the far side, whose job it is tonight to try and retrieve some balls.
Yeah, I think he was assuming he was going to have a quiet night until Livingston decided to pepper the newly built hotel. But yeah, he definitely does look like Bob the Builder.
The Grand Dame on strike as McCurr comes in and flashes one onto the pads. It's flicked down to fine leg where Clark fields. 183 for 4. I reckon that Livingston, the second 6 Livingston, that's going somewhere up on the top floor of the hotel rooms, isn't it? It's probably heading towards the minibar in one of those rooms.
Well, it bounced off, I think, the second balcony on that. It was a crazy shot. Absolutely obscene.
183 for 4. McCurr in and bowls. And Mitchell works the ball out towards mid-wicket. Gets through for a single. Moves on to 64 not out. 184 for 4. Saturday evening. It's a T20 Blast fixture between Lancashire Lightning and the Notts Outlaws. It's live from Emirates Old Trafford. It's on Lancs TV, it's on 5 Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website and app. And we've seen some powerful hitting today. Watching McCurr from the Statham end bowls, and de Grand Dame flicks the ball out towards the leg side. Montgomery fields for the Outlaws. De Grand Dame moves on to 5. Score moves on to 185 for 4. Brings Mitchell back on strike.
Such a good position to be in this. If you're Lancashire, you over and a half left. You've already got 185 on the board. Sun's shining.
Happy days.
This is, yeah.
Fill your boots.
Absolutely. This is just swing from the hips.
Which is what Mitchell does. Back over the bowler's head. Didn't quite get a hold of it as cleanly this time. It does land safe. Went directly up and over the bowler and the umpire. And Mullaney coming from mid-off to complete the fielding. The ball dropping between Mullaney, running back from mid-off, and Hales running up from long on. Mitchell runs 2, moves on to 66 not out. 187 for 4. As Conor McCurr strides in again. Ball's back of a length to Mitchell. That's muscled away through mid-wicket. Will it reach the rope? It does. Well, the field's set back on the leg side. There's a deep mid-wicket, there's a long on, and he's dragged it between mid-wicket and long on for 4 more runs.
I love that shot. It's a really clever shot here at Old Trafford there. He hasn't tried to hit that in the air. It's really short, but he's actually hit it down into the ground and used the pace of the outfield it just races away from the 2 fielders on the boundary who are on the boundary, but they're miles away from the batsman. I mean, they're probably having to get signals from the keeper about where it's going, staring into the sunshine.
This is Lancashire's highest T20 score against the Outlaws now. That's played down towards long on. Hales comes up and fields. It's the end of the over. 1 left. De Grand Dame's on 5. Mitchell is unbeaten on 71. It's 192 for 4 with 6 balls remaining. As we spot a Prince Harry look-alike in the crowd. So Afridi to bowl it. We saw a few fireworks, didn't we? Afridi to Mitchell the last time that these two faced each other just a few moments ago.
Lancs will be definitely looking for below 200s, yeah. Anything in 200 will look good on the scorecard.
Well, 8 away from getting it up to 200. So Afridi to Mitchell. Oh, he's stepping across the stumps and scooping the ball. Maybe all the way for 6. It has. I think it bounced on top of the rope. It's 6 off the first Afridi delivery. Ramped over short fine leg down towards the boundary for 6. It takes Mitchell on to 77.
Not just ramped, but I mean he's ramped that from almost a wide on the offside. Yeah, Afridi's tried to spear that in, making it almost impossible for him to hit anywhere other than to the long boundary in the offside, and somehow he's managed to scoop it over fine leg.
198 for 4. Afridi in, bowls, and he stepped right across the stumps and tries to flick it over the keeper again. The umpire signals a wide. Outlaws are saying, well, hang on, the batter's gone right across. He's gone past off stump. And Stephen Mullaney just asking the question about that. The umpire explaining it. Of course, when the batter moves, the wide lines move with them. But clearly, the umpire reckons that even with that, it's a wide.
I think it's a bit unlucky there on Shaheen. Mitchell had moved so far over, he was pretty much standing on the wide line.
He's on the other pitch.
If he'd bowled it at the stumps, he probably would have bowled him out. He wouldn't have reached it.
Well, that wide pushes Lancashire to 199 for 4. Afridi to Mitchell. It's a great Yorker. Brings the bat down. Ball squirts away through mid-wicket. He'll actually come back for 2. He's bowled a really good Yorker there, hasn't he, Afridi? And he's actually conceded 2, and it brings up Lancashire's 200.
I tell you what, he speared that in. That had a few extra miles in it there into the toes there. I think Mitchell was just trying to avoid breaking a foot. Managed to get his foot out of the way and jam the bat onto it, but I think he'll be trotting down there. Just thankfully he didn't get that on the end of the toe.
So 201 for 4. 4 balls remaining. Still damage could be done here. Mitchell waits, swings up and over, cover. Who's after this one? Oh, he's put down. Diving catch coming up from the deep cover boundary. Full length dive. Chance spilled, and they run back for 2.
Knots do look like they're a bit rusty. Their fielding today hasn't quite been on it. Lancs have put them under pressure, but a few catches have gone down. That was a tough one.
Yeah, Lyndon James.
They'll be disappointed.
He's coming a long way in from the deep cover boundary. Full length dive. The ball bursts through his fingers. 203 for 4. Afridi to Mitchell. Just drill down to long on. Hales fields. They want to come back and run 2. That's really good running. They've turned what looked like just a kind of a single into 2. Squeezing every run they can here at Lancashire Lightning. 205 for 4.
I think Hales just didn't even expect that. He almost assumed that it could only be 1 because they'd gone straight to him quite firmly down at long on. And I think he's feeling a little bit embarrassed. Would have been out if it hit the stumps, direct hit. But yeah, shouldn't have let 2 in there.
2 balls left. Afridi to Mitchell. It's driven away through the offside. Out towards wide long off, and they turn and come back for a couple more. It's pushed Daryl Mitchell to 85 not out from 40 balls, 4 4s and 6 6s.
He looks like he's breathing heavily as well.
Just a bit, yeah.
I think he's not such a fan of the big boundary now anymore. I think a few less 2s, I think he'd be quite happy.
Final ball of the innings for Lancashire Lightning. Afridi's gone for 47 so far. In and bowls. Ball goes through to the keeper. Morse tries to run out de Grandon. They've gone through for a bye. And that completes the over. And still, I think Afridi speaking to the umpire about that wide. He's upset the big fast bowler as the umpire. 208 for 4 at the end of the 20 overs. So 209 is the target to win. Afridi's not happy. He's a grumpy fast bowler out there, but Lancashire Lightning, I think, Stephen, will be mighty pleased with that. And in particular, a brilliant 85 not out by Daryl Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a fantastic knock there. A little bit lucky. A couple of drop catches there could have made the difference, especially the first one. But some wonderful striking and importantly some great running between the wickets as well to really get that score up to what is, I would say, an extremely competitive total.
For listeners on 5 Sports Extra, I'm going to hand you to Kevin Howells. Here on Lancs TV, we're watching Daryl Mitchell head up towards the dressing room. That is one fine effort, isn't it, really? And you can see his teammates are absolutely thrilled with his contributions. He has hit the ground running. I mean, he's got a century in the championship match here the other week. He's got runs here this week. What a What a contribution from your overseas already.
It's just what you want, and from both, you know, from the team who bring in the overseas, you know, to have that person come in and stamp their authority, and also from the overseas, you know, to hit the ground running and get some runs under your belt does you the world of good. And yeah, I mean, that's just brilliant for Lancashire and also for Darryl.
Yeah, he's been some player so far, and he's contributed so far tonight with a brilliant 85 not out from 41 balls. So Lancashire Lightning finish on 208 for 4. It means the Notts Outlaws here on Lancs TV will require 209 to win.
Room.
How's that? How's that? Oh.
How's that? How's that?
Darryl Mitchell dropped on 7, 32 and 81. Well, it was an incredible innings, it has to be said, from the Lancashire Lightning. 208 for 4. Darryl Mitchell, 85 not out. Kate's with me as well. What did you make of that?
That was brutal, wasn't it? I was just saying on commentary, Liam Livingstone was only going at 1 a ball, and that's really unusual for him. But he's just giving Darryl Mitchell the strike, and then he got going by sending it into the hotel. But yeah, it was just an absolute savage innings by Lancashire.
The platform was really laid early doors, wasn't it, when we saw running away with the scoreline. They absolutely took 10 off Afridi for his first over, and then 49 off the first 4 overs. They were absolutely going straight at it, no messing about.
Yeah, they were flying, and I was saying how excited I was to see Shaheen Afridi bowl here, and Phil Salt just pummels him over extra cover. 2 balls in, so it just goes to show the intent that Lancashire have got, how much they're willing to put pressure back onto bowlers, especially international bowlers like the likes of Afridi. But it was just great to watch, wasn't it? The crowd have been brilliant as well.
I couldn't believe it. I looked at the run rate after the second over. They were going at 14.4 at that point, which is ridiculous. I mean, well, to be fair, they did manage to steady it down a bit. Luke Wells the first to go. He nibbled at one from McKerr on 38. At that point, it's 56 for 1, and then Croft goes out for 6 at 70 for 2. But when Salt goes out for 34, in comes Liam Livingstone, and that's when the partnerships really start to build, don't they?
Yeah, he's so brutal, isn't he? And that's what I thought was interesting about his innings. He gave himself the chance to get in, but that was because Darryl Mitchell was batting so well at the other end. He didn't have to take any chances, didn't have to play risky cricket. But yeah, when you've got Darryl Mitchell's reverse sweeping seamers at the other end, there's not really much you need to do.
Mitchell and Livingstone, a 50 partnership of 29 balls, 50 for Mitchell of 26 balls, a 4th wicket partnership between the two of them of 82, and Liam Livingstone eventually went for 32, and he went on to get 85, Darryl Mitchell. I mean, absolutely stellar performance to remove that bat with him.
Yeah, we were talking about Dane Villas missing out. In a team like this, you can only play 2 overseas, and Darryl Mitchell has proved exactly why he's in the team. He had a great start here in the Championship, scored 100 in his first game on debut, and he's just carried on his form into white ball cricket. It's just incredible to watch.
So what is he going to take now from Nottinghamshire if they're to get a foothold in this game? Because Lancashire, given the way they've been bowling recently, you probably put them favourites for this game at this stage, would you? You
would do, especially with 208 on the board. They'll be looking to take wickets in the power play. That's generally where games are won and lost. And Saqib Mahmood will be eyeing up Alex Hales, I think, because he's going to be the difference. If Hales gets going, then he could chase this down himself.
We look forward to seeing what happens in Lancashire's innings. We'll be hearing from Agent Bumble. He's out there causing chaos as usual. We'll hear from him very shortly.
Just the way you like it.
Well, Lightning 208 for 4, a fantastic innings. Let's get back into the crowd. We've got a very thirsty nun here. Where are you from, sister?
I'm from Somerset.
From Somerset all the way. Did you lose your way?
I did not lose my way, no.
And who are you supporting in this game?
Well, I went to uni in Nottingham. I'm here on my stag with some Nottingham mates, so I've got to big up Nottingham. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. Moving on. Yeah, come on this way, Arthur. Arthur, come this way. You got it. There's a bride here. No. Okay, move on from the bride. Move on from the bride. We got some young kids. Arthur, come on. Come on, Arthur. Now then, I'm just guessing, these are Lancashire Lightning fans. Is that right?
Yes.
And who've you got here? You've got Lanky. You brought him with you. Now, they've got 208 runs on the board. Do you think they've got enough?
Yeah.
And who's your favourite player? Let's go. Is this your brother or are you just your mate? Is your cousin? Who's your favourite player?
Any, to be fair.
Any of them? Yeah. You're not fussed, are you? No. Yeah. Are you United, City? Who do you like? Not bothered, not fussed. No. Do you like a football team? Yeah. Go on. Who do you like then?
It's going to be awful. Liverpool.
Right. I'll leave it at that then.
Seriously, I worry every time we put a camera on him and give him a microphone. We have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, do we? Kate, the second innings should be absolutely thrilling, shouldn't it? 209 the total that Nottinghamshire are going to have to go at. What would you think that the Lancashire approach is going to be to this second innings now?
I think they'll go quite hard at them. I think we'll see a lot of short stuff to Alex Hales. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of the game, it's hard when you've only got 2 players out in the power play. You have to try and shut parts of the ground down. But we've got the attack to do that. I thought how they bowled on Thursday was absolutely outstanding on that pitch, and they'll just look to recreate that, I think, and take those wickets.
You mentioned Alex Hales. He had a bit of a failure last night. We only got 12, but that's pretty unusual for him because he is a batsman that can absolutely destroy you, isn't he?
He really is, and we've seen it time and time again. In fact, I think he did it here in the 100 for Trent Rockets. He scored loads of runs really quickly, and that's how destructive he can be. So Lancashire will know that he's the key wicket early on.
We'll see how it goes. Kate, thanks very much indeed for joining us. I will be back soon with Nottinghamshire's innings.
Thanks, Fraser. That was absolutely chaos, wasn't it? I mean, Bumble's going around trying to speak to kids in the crowd. I mean, the people, it's absolute chaos. It's carnage.
I'm surprised I can understand him. I struggled when I first met him.
Oh dear. Well, everyone's enjoying their evening. Look at it, it's beautiful. They've got sunshine in the commentary box as well there.
It's stunning. It really is stunning. And everybody who is fortunate enough to be here this evening is loving it. Taking the opportunity to stock up their glasses and get a few extra snacks.
Well, why not? Yeah.
Before the next half, which I think, well,
yeah,
it's going to go one of 2 ways.
Okay.
I think it'll either be very
tell
close.
Us a possibility A is.
Well, whenever I look at big totals like this, I tend to think it'll be very close or it'll be a long way away.
Right.
So we know Hales is going to go really hard, and Monroe plays one way as well. So, I think if they can get to sort of 8-10 overs in decent nick with not too many wickets down, I think it's going to be a very, very close match. This.
I mean, if Notts do get somewhere near, it's going to be an absolute thriller, isn't it?
It's going to be incredible, yeah. But it's a big total, this. Lancashire, they're looking good, and hope if they can field anywhere like they batted in terms of the level of confidence and swagger that they had, I think they'll be in a great position, yeah.
I've got a stat for you. Hang on, let me find it. So I've got a stat for you. Lancashire are now over 2 years unbeaten at home in the T20 Blast. 2 years. It's in excess of 2 years since they last lost here. So they've won 13 matches over that now in excess of 2 year period, with 2 ties and 1 no result. But they are unbeaten in over 2 years in T20 cricket here at Emirates Old Trafford. That is some record.
That is a record, that isn't it? I mean, this is a fortress, and it's a unique ground to play 20 over cricket in comparison to others. Just the way Lancs play their game. But that is some stat. This must be one of the best fortresses in the country for a side then, surely over the last sort of 5 or 10 years. Because I know when we played here, we always were so confident at home. We getting a home semi-final, anything was really important for us.
I've got another stat for you.
Go on.
This from me, isn't it? I can't take any credit for this. Ken Grime, the great Ken Grime, has sent me this. So when Lancashire beat Leicestershire on Thursday evening, they've now matched Nottinghamshire in terms of the most number of T20 wins in England's domestic T20 competition. So Lancashire and Nottinghamshire have won 137 games since the T20 was first introduced. That's more than any other team. So these two are statistically, in terms of wins, not in terms of number of T20 trophies, but in terms of the amount of games won since the competition launched, these two have won more games than any other county.
That's really impressive. And I mean, you kind of intuitively know that every year. You know, Notts and Lancashire are going to be there. They're going to be in the mix when it comes to, you know, getting into the finals day. They're always, you know, competing really well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really impressive, that.
I think that's all I've got for you in terms of trying to impress you with my stats.
Thank you.
But I'm glad you were impressed.
I was impressed, yes. I'm not surprised.
No.
I'm impressed with the two sides. But it does show this hopefully is set up to be a cracker this evening.
Here is Luke Wood then. And he's into ball left arm over the wicket. Swings in towards Clark and flicked away off the pads out towards square leg. And Clark gets his first run, as indeed did the Notts Outlaws. So 1 without loss, target of 209 for the Notts Outlaws, but they've got some firepower. I mean, the two lads opening the batting here, Hales and Clark, and then you stick in the likes of Munro and Moores and Patel and Lyndon James. They can all give it a fair old heave. Wood bowled beautifully for Lancashire on Thursday in the power play, and he's tearing his way back in again. Oh, and that beats Hales. Plays and misses. And through to Phil Salt, no run. A sharp start by Luke Wood, who's spent his winter here, there and everywhere, playing in different kind of T20 competitions.
He's a very slippery little left-hander. It's not a good combination, batting against that. He's a tricky bowler. He does skid it through.
You can expand on that in a minute, if you don't mind, please, as to why it's so tricky as a batter to face a left armer. Oh, what a delivery! Oh, my word, Luke Woods fires one in. And it castles Alex Hales, and what a celebration. He's halfway to the city centre. Wow, Hales comprehensively bowled.
I saw Luke and Alex talking earlier today, just before the game, I think, having a bit of a discussion. I've got a funny feeling that celebration was probably off the back of that. I think he said to his mate, "I'm going to get you tonight." And I think that delivery probably would have got nearly any batsman in the world. That was absolutely a rip snorter, an in-swinging 90-mile-an-hour Yorker that's ripped off stump out the ground. It doesn't get better than that.
I think Luke Wood might like that on a replay time and time again. I think he'd quite like to watch that back a few times, wouldn't he?
He definitely. He'll be sending that to Alex on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Probably every other day for the next couple of months.
Goodness.
That was an absolute stunner. Talk about setting the tone with the ball. Doesn't get better than that for Lancashire. Whew.
I mean, and it was with the in-swing, but there was obviously it's a rapid pace, and it's quite late in-swing, that, isn't it?
As I was saying, that slippery little left-hander.
Tell me, Stephen, why is it so difficult to face a left-armer? Oh my, that's a heck of a delivery, that, from Wood. So not so 1 for 1. Lancashire put a second slip in place. Colin Munro, the new batter. Goodness, how on earth? Well, you can't play that, can you, really? Wood balls to Munro, who drives. And that's fielded by de Grandhomme at cover, and there's no run. 1 for 1 in the first over of the Notts Outlaws reply. We've seen an absolute rip-roarer of a delivery from Luke Wood. Surprised it didn't smash the stump in half. It was a in-swinging, with late in-swing at pace, Yorker, which hammered into the off stump of Alex Hales. It was the most comprehensive dismissal you wish to see. This is Munro getting right in behind. Wood has picked up from where he left off on Thursday, right on the money. That's quick, isn't it, from Wood?
He's really getting it down there, but he's getting it down there with a bit of swing as well. You can see at the moment Munro not even thinking about trying to do anything other than just keep the delivery out.
Yeah, just kind of survive the over, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, 2 slips are in there. Yep. You can even argue getting a 3rd one in there.
Steady on.
Go on.
Final ball of the first over. Wood bowls and swings away from Munro, who drives up towards Mahmood at mid-off, and they get through for 1 run. Well, that was impressive from Luke Wood. That is, Stephen, tell me, as an opening batter in T20 cricket, which is what you were for so many years, facing that first over of a match, how difficult is that?
Particularly as a right-hander, that's the last thing you need. You know, someone bowling 90 miles an hour is tough enough anyway. If they swing it, tough. If they swing it back into you from around the wicket, which is essentially what a left-hander's doing, I'll go down the other end, please, thank you. Or I'll bat 3 today, thanks. No, that's all you can ask for from a captain. You know, your bowler, take the first delivery and deliver an over like that for you when the opposition are chasing 209. Whew, that challenge just got that much bigger. So fantastic over.
Well, the win percentage has pushed Lancashire up to 87.2.
0.2.
And that 0.2 could be crucial. Saqib Mahmood to open up the bowling from the James Anderson end. Munro on strike. Here's Mahmood. Nips back into Munro. Deflects away off some part of his thigh pad, perhaps. It's going to be a leg by, certainly. 3 for 1. Maybe wise from Munro. Play it at the other end for the minute. Brings Joe Clark on strike. Mahmood back, fully fit, and slowly building himself up to kind of full bowling fitness. Third game for Mahmood.
Don't England need their bowling stocks replenished, don't they? So they'll be looking at this going, come on, get some overs under your belt.
A couple of championship matches in the first month of the season for Mahmood. In a bowls, and Clark plays and misses. He's having a little flirt with the ball outside the off stump.
I tell you what, this is Lancashire bossing it at the moment. Men versus boys running in here, real fire, real aggression. This is lovely to watch. Can Nottinghamshire turn the tide, try and get back into this game?
It was the Foxes' undoing on Thursday, really was the power play. Lancashire kind of blew them away in the first 6 overs of that game on Thursday, with these two in particular. Mahmood to Clark. Comes back into him, he defends, gets right in behind it. Keeps the ball out. I mean, it's T20 cricket and they've got to try and get to 209, but at the minute, it's just about staying there, isn't it?
Well, you can see it, the body language of the bowlers are, I'm right on you. The fielders are in there, tight slips, gullies. And the batsman's body language is, I just need to get bat and ball here. They're not even looking like trying to hit it yet.
3 for 1. Clark waits as Mahmood trails up to the stumps and balls, and Clark looks to try and scoop him. And I think it's bounced over the top of the stumps. It's going into the gloves of the keeper, and Mahmood's thinking, well, goodness me, that's an inch or two away from bowling Clark.
And that just shows the pressure. I mean, he's gone from blocking the ball to playing what looks like a pretty desperate ram shot. It was neither here nor there. That was definitely the signs of a batsman at the moment that are just feeling the pressure of the intensity of this bowling.
There's Mahmood sets off again. Clark waits. Balls to Clark. That's drilled away through the offside. Tom Hartley comes up from deep backward point to field. Clark gets a single. Moves on to 2. Knots Outlaws a 4 for 1 with 1 ball remaining of the second over of their reply. 209 is Lancashire's target. Sorry, is Outlaws' target. Lancashire Lightning making 208 for 4.
And that's the benefit of the cushion here. You know, Lancashire, because they've got that 200, above 200, can't really afford to let these overs go by. They need to try and get on the front foot sooner rather than later.
Final ball for Mahmood's first over. Into Munro, that's muscled over mid-on. 1 bounce, 4 runs. And the Outlaws might just feel that they're just up and running a little bit now. 8 for 1 after 2.
That's more like it. That was a confident shot there. Good solid base from Munro. He's a fantastic hockey player, and you can see that with his hands there, just a bit of a slap. Quick, fast hands over mid-on. And they'll need more of that, that's for sure.
It's out towards those kind of sofas. Some sofas there.
Yeah, the sponsorship corner there looks like, and then back in some inflatables. I don't know, or real sofas potentially, but look like quite comfy seats.
They did, didn't they? They look lovely. A little bit of AstroTurf there. And kind of enough. There's room for two people to sit on. It looks like maybe inflatable sofas.
Yeah, a bit of a huggable kind of.
Fancy getting
Should we
cozy
next time, yeah. Organise one of those for us, Scott. Next.
I mean, they used to have jacuzzis. That was a thing, wasn't it? They used to have a little hot tub, didn't they, next to the
on the boundary.
That happened when you were playing.
Yeah.
There's Luke Wood into Clark. Oh, that's beaten him all ends up, and I don't know how it's not bowled him. I don't know how he's not edged it. I've not got a clue.
I don't think Clark knows what's happened there. He's walking down asking Colin, did you see that? Because I definitely didn't. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Wood's all over him. It's an uncomfortable place to be if you're Joe Clark at the moment.
I can almost sense you twitching next to me as if flashbacks. Thank goodness I'm not out there at the minute. 8 for 1. Wood balls again. Back of a length hooks, top edged. Bell's under it. Takes it. Wood gets a second. Wood's having an absolute stormer here. He's all over Notts Outlaws, and he gets his second wicket of the night. 8 for 2.
Yeah, you can see Clark's almost relieved to walk off the field there. I think the last place he wanted to be was out there in the middle. He looked so uncomfortable. Really a sharp bouncer, and all he could do was just half slap it and got a top edge. So fantastic bowling again from Wood, and he really is. He's just all over the Nottinghamshire batting lineup at the moment.
I tell you enjoyed that. George Bell, that was a great celebration, wasn't it? I mean, he gave it plenty there, didn't he?
He was happy with, not the hardest catch he's ever going to take that, but he definitely put the celebration in.
He did, didn't he? Kind of both feet off the ground, gave it large.
That happens as a fielder sometimes when you watch one of your teammates, your bowlers, bowling the way Wood is bowling here, absolutely on fire with that kind of level of intensity and aggression. It just lifts you as a fielder. You almost, you're buzzing. You take the ridiculously easy catch like that, and you're celebrating as if you're John T. Rhodes.
I enjoyed that, did Master George Bell.
Oh my gosh, the win percentage is creeping up to crazy levels now. 94.1%, the Lightning.
Yeah, well, I suppose 209 just seemed like a while off, doesn't it? At 8 for 2, Montgomery's the new batter. Still a couple of slips, Wood in, balls. And that's pushed away into the offside by Montgomery. This is wonderful left arm bowling, isn't it, from Wood? Left arm over the wicket. And he's terrorising the batters at the minute.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. That's, we talk about 2020 cricket and big shots, 4s and 6s, and all the razzmatazz that goes with that. To be honest, it's still brilliant just watching a quick bowler run in and terrorise the batsman a little bit, and that's what Wood's doing this evening.
He'd probably just bowl 2 and then save a little bit for later, but would you be tempted to go with a 3rd for Wood?
Oh, you just go. If
keep going,
doesn't end well, you would do.
Munro waits, Wood balls. It's driven down the ground. It beats Mahmood, who's diving at mid-off to try and stop it. And there's 4 runs for the Outlaws, and they're few and far between boundaries at this stage of their innings, but they move on to 13 for 2. It was a pretty spectacular effort from Mahmood to try and stop it. Kind of swung away, didn't it, at pace?
Yeah, he's still getting the shape, Wood. Munro did well to get as much bat on that as he did. Shows how fast his hands are and how strong his wrists are to be able to squeeze that past mid-off.
13 for 2. Wood in from the Statham end, balls again. And that's down the leg side to Munro and signalled as a wide by the umpire. Salt takes the catch. But his blood's pumping here, isn't it, Luke Wood? The adrenaline must be flowing through the body, hurtling his way in. Did have a terrific power play on Thursday night. Looks like he's come back from his winter, where he spent time here, there and everywhere playing T20 cricket. Full of confidence and bowling pretty well by the looks of it. In again to Munro. That's off the back foot and jabbed away into the offside. Picked up at point by Tom Hartley. Munro gets a single. Score moves on to 15 for 2. Munro moves on to 10. Brings Matt Montgomery back on strike. So Lancashire again are going to put in a couple of slips, I think, here. Here they are, 2 slips. We're in the 3rd over of a T20 match. Still got 2 slips. Wood to Montgomery. That's pulled through the onside. That's a really good shot. And that's 4 runs. Montgomery moves to 5. That completes the 3rd over. 19 for 2.
Yeah, almost made that easier for himself. He gave himself room outside the leg stump there and sort of walked at Wood. And just that movement just meant he could get his hands free. Because it was not a bad bumper that. Bowled it short, but his hands were then in a good position to just lift that over the onside and raced away for 4. So that'll settle his nerves a little bit, Montgomery, and probably maybe make Livingston think twice about giving Wood another one. Might just say, you've done your job, a couple of good wickets, might keep you to as an impact a bit later.
3 overs gone, Montgomery 5 and Munro on 10. It's the T20 Blast, Saturday evening, live from Emirates Old Trafford on Lancs TV, 5 Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website and app. Mahmood in and balls to Munro. Just sort of shovel the ball away through mid-wicket. Just deflects away into the offside, there's no run. This is the 2nd game of the day. We started with the Charlotte Edwards Cup fixture between Thunder and the Sunrisers. It was a victory for Thunder. There's a wicket maiden for Kate Cross in the 1st over of the match. I got very excited about that. I need to get out more.
Don't get many of those, do you?
You don't?
No, very well.
She seemed to play it down when I brought it up. She's very blasé about it. It's like, oh, I do it all the time. Mahmood to Munro. That's gone high, out towards long leg, and all the way for 6. Taken off the hip by Munro. It's an outrageous shot.
I don't think he got much of it either. I think it almost came off the stickers of the bat there. He's kind of just picked it up almost from knee height, just down low, and just flicked it using the pace that Mahmood's got. Very good T20 player, Munro, and that was showing it all his experience there.
Yeah, there's a lot already depending on Munro, isn't there, here for the Outlaws, if they're going to try and get anywhere near. Mahmood in, he's down the pitch, he's beaten by Mahmood. There's a step or 2 down the pitch and I swatted away towards mid-wicket. Big swing and a miss and taken by Salt.
But I like that from Mahmood, showing some good concentration there. He's actually taking the pace off that delivery. A good slower ball, rolled his wrists on it, and did Munro there, who was looking for some more pace to try and whip it through the leg side.
He could do with a new shirt, couldn't he?
He could do, yeah. I don't know
half his numbers missing.
He's got an 8-point something on his He's going for the decimal place.
He is. Mahmood to Munro.
Oh,
what a shot. Blimey, out towards deep mid-wicket, heading towards the hotel again.
In the hotel.
And in the hotel, somewhere near the bar, where the bar's going to be.
Yep, it's in the lobby there, and Bob the Builder is now confused as to how to go and retrieve that ball.
What a shot from Munro.
Such strong wrists, just to flick that delivery. I mean, it's gone miles. It's just a little flick of the hands. It's insane.
Let's see if we can retrieve this ball from. You reckon that could be where the foyer is? Could you think that could be kind of
I think that's somewhere in the foyer. I think I saw it disappearing down there past the insulation.
I bet there'll be some lovely leather seats in there. I bet when it's open a bit. A nice carpet as well. Oh, it's been retrieved. Well done. Excellent work.
Bob the Builder gets a cheer from the crowd.
It's been peppered a bit, hasn't it? That's a new hotel tonight.
Tell you what, and that strip is a long way away from it. So
it is. That is a big hit. You reckon 100 metres, do you?
100 metres to that building, yeah.
Goodness. 31 for 2. Munro 22 not out. Mahmood in and balls. That's run down towards 3rd man. It's a good stop by Luke Wells. inside the circle at short third. Munro just trying to use the pace of the ball there, I think just running it off the face of the bat. Takes a single, 23 to him, 32 for 2. 1 ball left of the 4th over. Brings Matt Montgomery back on strike. So a dot, 6, a dot, a 6, and then a single so far. Mahmood wanting to move Stephen Croft, who is at deep backward square leg, just a little squarer. He's out on the open side of the ground where the temporary stand will be, and the stage for the concert in a couple of weeks' time. Mahmood to Montgomery, again looking to scoop it, going across the stumps with short fine and short third inside the circle, but makes no contact with it into the gloves of Phil Salt, and that is 4 overs gone. And there's at least signs from a Notts Outlaws perspective here that they've got a little bit of something going with Munro in particular, who's unbeaten on 23. He's 32 for 2.
Yeah, we're talking about overseas players earlier and what they bring to the side, and tonight definitely they need their overseas to come to the party and almost to settle this Nottinghamshire batting lineup. They look sort of shell-shocked. Delivery ripping out the stumps from Hales, and then just the intensity of the bowling. They need their overseas just to front up now and just calm the nerves and set them up to at least have a go at the total. So yeah, a really big role for him to play.
Captain's going to bring himself into the attack. Liam Livingstone with the ball in hand from the Brian Statham end, around the wicket to Munro. That's hit high, back over the bowler's head, down towards the boundary below us here, and all the way for 6 at long off to start the 5th over. Handsome looking lofted drive by Munro.
They really have, these Kiwis have got this checked. Very high 6 shot down to a tee this evening, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, saw a bit from Mitchell, didn't we, earlier on? Goes back this time, trying to slap the ball away, but only as far as Wells at mid-off, and there's no run. Yeah, that was a real sky, that, wasn't it? Went a mile. But it had the distance to clear the rope. So he moves on to 29 from 14 balls faced. 38 for 2. Livingston in balls. That's hammered over mid-off. And 1 bounce and 4 more. Well, they're maybe having a little look at Livingston and saying, well, this is a chance to try and attack in this power play with Livingston bowling his off-spin. Yeah,
it's interesting. Notts did this as well, didn't they, with the spinner in the power play? And I just think it's dangerous, especially with someone like Munro.
In and balls to Munro. That's pushed away into the offside. Bell picks up and throws towards the bowler's end. Munro scampers through for 1. 34 to Colin Munro. 43 for 2. 2 balls left of the 5th over. .43 for 2. Livingston to Montgomery then. The leg side field. 2 on the boundary. The 2 outside the circle are at deep backward square leg and deep mid wicket. Livingston comes in and goes through his action but doesn't release the ball.
Playing some mind games there with the batsman. I love it.
Bounces his way back in again at balls. It's off the front foot and pushed up towards mid-on by Montgomery just for 1. Takes his total on to 6. 44 for 2. 1 ball left of the 5th over. And Munro waits. Livingston's in and balls. Again, plenty of height. This time does it clear Wells, who's scampering after it and puts the dive in. Running out from mid-off towards extra cover, Luke Wells. The ball beyond his reach, and it's come back for 2. It's 46 for 2 after 5, with Montgomery on 6 and Munro on 36. So it's 163 required off 90 deliveries. Stephen Moore has left us. We're looking for Father Christmas as the next lookalikey in the crowd. Oh, he seems very happy with that. He looks a little bit like Santa. Kate Cross is alongside.
He's sat next to a duck.
Yes. I went for chicken, but I think duck's better. Yeah, yeah. Now I've seen it again. It's more of a mallard look to it.
Yeah.
De Grandhomme.
It's too posh for me, that, a mallard.
What, a mallard?
Yeah.
Well, you see him on the Bridgewater Canal.
Well, I know what one is, but I wouldn't say the word mallard.
Would you know?
I don't think so.
That's the only type of duck I know. 46 for 2. De Grandhomme's replaced Mahmood. He's in and bowling, and that's squirted up and over point. George Bell's chasing after it. Did you see George Bell celebrate that catch?
Yeah, it was like it was his first ever catch.
Wasn't it great?
It was brilliant, yeah. We're saying he looks like he's taken the day off school today to play, doesn't he?
Does a bit, yeah. Does a bit. He's clearly enjoying his day out.
I think he's a real talent, you know. I think he's genuinely going to be one for the future.
He's had a very good start to the season in the county championship. Had the gloves in the championship. Here's de Grandhomme to Munro. And that's worked out towards deep backward square leg, and there's one run. I'm going to Luke Wood's dismissal of Alex Hales, right? So we've had Stephen Moore's view of it, opening batter, what it'd be like to face that. As a bowler, Kate, how much did you admire what Luke Wood did there?
Yeah, especially to Hales, I think.
De Grandhomme to Montgomery, that's worked off the toe under the bat, and Mahmood's chasing after it. They've already come back for 2. And they'll settle for just the 2. 50 on the board now, 50 for 2.
Yeah, I think when you know you've got such a destructive player like Alex Hales who can take the game away from you, games like this are won and lost in the power play. So getting him out the way that he did, I actually thought he started well. I thought his first ball set the tone.
Montgomery waits for de Grandhomme.
Catch.
Driven up and just about over Livingston at mid-off for 4 runs for Montgomery, who moves on to 13. It's 54 for 2.
That's probably been the story of the power play, actually. Just getting it over those mid-on, mid-off fielders. I've seen a few chances created. I think hitting that hard length on this pitch and trying to encourage batters to hit over the top is quite a difficult thing to do.
13 from 7. De Grandhomme's first over of the evening. And the ball's a wide ball, squirted out towards Bell at backward point, no run. He's reaching for it at the toe end of the bat. And Bell stops it.
Going back to the Hales dismissal, I think you often don't expect a Yorker early on either. And he absolutely nailed it, didn't he? He executed it to perfection.
De Grandhomme to Montgomery, shovelled away off the hip, away to square leg. It's the end of the 6 over. So that is the power play complete. 55 for 4, correction, 55 for 2 after 6 overs of that power play. Montgomery on 14, Munro on 37. It's had a bit of all sorts, that power play, hasn't it? Did some monster
really
hits,
has, yeah.
Brilliant dismissals, and George Bell's wonderful excitement of taking a catch.
The crowd are just starting to get into it a little bit as well here, aren't they? Sun's setting over the point. It's going to all look very different here next week, isn't it?
Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys. You going?
I am actually. Yes.
Friday.
Saturday.
Livingston carrying on here. I think we'll see him bowling his leg spin to the right-hander. I think that's often why having Liam Livingston in the team is a bit of an asset, isn't it?
Montgomery waits. Livingston is in and bowling. Goes back and cuts the ball away to the offside. Picked up by Mitchell. And they're through for a single. 56 for 2. Montgomery moves on to 15. Brings Munro back on strike. Target is 209. Goodness, some way off, isn't it? And 53 more runs required. And hammered off the back foot by Munro. It bursts through the fingertips of de Grandhomme.
It's a horrible place to field there, just on those wicket ends. You can see all the bowlers' footmarks as the Lancs lads have been training on that pitch all week. Never nice. Get that one in front of you, you just hope your teeth get out of the way of it.
Livingston to Montgomery, down on one knee, pulls the ball away towards deep backward square leg.
Might not come across as obviously on the TV, but you can see how well Lancashire play at this ground with how they position their fielders. You can see the fielders on the leg side
It's Livingston's in. Munro off the back foot, and that's muscled out towards mid-wicket, and that's all the way for 6.
That's a great shot from Munro. He's just picked up the length, able to free his arms. He doesn't look like a powerful striker, but he's so effective, isn't he? Does this for a lot of teams that he plays in around the world.
He's 44 from 20 now. It's his 4th 6 there. 64 for 2. Much depends on Munro. He's looking to sweep it again, but deflects off the pad back down the pitch, and there's no run.
I always think he's a quietly unassuming character when he bats. You wouldn't expect him. Like Hales is destructive, whereas Munro just accumulates and finds ways to manipulate the field and manipulate the bowlers.
Kind of like a silent assassin. Livingston into Munro. It's a wide ball. It's hammered away through the offside. Beats de Grandhomme, who loses his trousers. It's picked up by Hartley.
It's happened a few times, that, hasn't it?
De Grandhomme's popped his trousers back on. Our latest lookalike is you. Oh,
where are they?
Let's have a look.
Is it going to be me?
66 for 2 after 7. Let's see who the latest lookalike is. What do you think about that, Kate Cross? Then Kevin Howells is coming in.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful. I'm not sure. I think she's come across worse in that than I have. But Kevin, what I was just saying then, I didn't quite finish my point, was the Lancashire fielders know how to play on this ground. They know that on that leg side boundary, the bigger boundary towards the hotel, they need to be 10 yards off the rope, able to stop the twos. And then the shorter boundary, they know that they've got to be hugging that rope.
This seemed to me, because I've been around a bit, all this talk of measurements and angles and shapes and all that sort of stuff, it seems to me that sort of, 2-3 years ago, it's become a real big thing, hasn't it now? Within the game, has it been talked more about in your careers? This ball is reversed and it's going to fly away for 4 runs behind square there, over the boundary rope, 4 more runs onto 70 for 2 in the 8th over. But this idea of the way things are played and it has just generally become more of the narrative, more of the talk.
Yeah, and I think teams learn the home advantage and what their squads are good at, and where they can excel. And I think that's something that Lancashire, probably for the last 10 years, have done really well at home.
Montgomery's moved to 20 with that 4 off 12 balls. He had a good night last night. Can he do it again this evening? Well, he's going to have to go some to pull off a victory, as he did last night for the Outlaws. He'll get a single up there to long off. He'll move to 21, 71 for 2 in the 8th over. That
first ball that Matt Parkinson bowled that Montgomery reverse swept, it was a great option because he had a short third and a point in the ring, and he knew that if he could just get it over, then it was a boundary, and it puts Matt Parkinson under pressure. First ball of his spell.
He's bonus from the far end, so it's the Jimmy Anderson end. And he's going to bowl now to Munro, who's on 46. Leans back and hammers that one down the ground as Munro. Just had a little look at Munro's most recent scores. Well, obviously he got a 20-something last night, but he's been in the Pakistan Super League. Actually hasn't played for now a good couple of months from then. He didn't do anything which was really stand out. No big scores in the last month and a half. He played before the break, and there's been a break till he's joining up here and linking up with the Notts team. There'll be a single, but within Munro we know there is just so much he can give, and right now his 47 off 23 is looking pretty healthy with 3 4s and 4 6s. Clearly tonight could be the night that he gets his first biggie for a real long time. We'll wait and see. The numbers peeled off the back of his shirt, which is not a great look, but he's not bothered about that. He's not bothered when he fires that one straight. It's going to be 4. Oh, the power. I'm sorry, I just sit here now year after year in disbelief and watch about the power that's created with seemingly so little effort, and the timing. Just been talking with David Lloyd in the background. He says it's the practice that's put in, the practice. Munro is no spring chicken. I think he's about 36 years of age, but that has brought up his half century. 51 off 24 balls, 77 for 2, and that one is a little more gentle, but it's still gone fairly straight on the offside of straight along the ground for 1. He moves to 52 off 25, 78 for 2 after 8 overs. It's exhilarating to watch.
It's fantastic. He just looks effortless when he bats, and it's often, like David Lloyd's alluding to, is just the timing. And that ball that he bunted down the ground there was effectively off the back foot, and he's getting that much power from leaning backwards, which is quite frightening. I think that's actually where the men's game has moved quite a lot, is the power that you see off the back foot now. Josh Butler's incredible at it. Just how he can hit over extra cover for 6 is an incredible skill.
For me, it defies what I expect of a human being. The strength and the distance and the power. Well, Monroe's on strike, and we're going to see Luke Wells for the first time here bowling this evening. He's obviously performed well with the bat earlier, but with the ball in hand. 78 for 2 after 8 overs. Over 200 runs to get here, though, and that's a little width, and they'll get nothing for that. What are you expecting from Wells here, then, Kate Cross?
I think he actually bowls a bit of everything. I think he'll try and mix his lengths up, mix his lines up. They're going to have to find a way of getting Monroe out here.
209 is the target. 78 for 2. A little bit of space found there on the leg side. It should be parried between 2 fielders, and they'll go through for 2 in the end. That's Croft finally with the right arm throw.
Really good bit of fielding out there. He's got a really deep backward square. He's actually just changing his angles a little bit here, Luke Wells.
That's Mitchell, who I think parried the ball to Croft. Left-handed Monroe on 54, 80 for 2 then in the 9th over. Wells bowls now. Oh, it's gone big and straight. It's gone a long, long way, just down in front of us. Whoa! This is not going to get the crowd as excited, but to be honest with you, it should do, because this is absolutely amazing. It's a 6, and the Outlaws move to 86 for 2 in the 9th over. I understand why they're actually a little bit worried that this could prove into a, well, it would be an amazing game should they get anywhere near. Right now they could do if Monroe keeps this going. 60 off 28. What's with this one? Oh, this has gone high into the sky. There should be somebody under this. Should be Salt the keeper. Can he take it? Yes, he can! That gets the cheer. And a mighty, mighty sigh of relief. Monroe has gone for 60. Big hit, but it went a long way up, Kate.
Yeah, he's just tried to go again there. He's tried to go down the ground. I think he knew as soon as he hit it. There was a little bit of confusion between who was going to take that catch. It was probably Luke Wells's, but you always trust your keeper with the gloves on. But what an innings from Colin Monroe. He's given Nottingham a little bit of momentum, given them a chance.
Well, he has, but I think they needed him to stay a little bit longer, and especially in that form. But, you know, even if this doesn't close tonight in terms of a nail-biting finish, and it still could, I'm going to still take so much away from this. I mean, the batting we saw earlier from Mitchell, especially, the way he just plucked the ball.
Brutal, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, well, you're right. It's brutal, but actually, it's not seemingly done with that much aggression at times. It's just if they stand there and bang, 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 it's terrific to watch, but not necessarily as a bowler.
No, who'd be a bowler? It just goes to show, though, on a good pitch like this here at Emirates Old Trafford, that you've got no margin for error, really, as a bowler. That ball that Luke Wells bowled to Colin Monroe prior to the wicket that went for 6 down the ground, he missed his Yorker by a couple of inches.
This is Tom Moores now, new batter. Uses the wrist to work it away on the leg side. He'll go through for 1. Takes the score to 87 for 3 in the 9th over.
Really handy over this from Luke Wells. He's only gone for 9 at the moment, but picked up the crucial wicket of Colin Monroe.
You know, you were talking about who should have taken that catch. But if you noticed, as the replay finished and whatever, I noticed a little bit of an exchange between Wells and Salt in terms of, it was a sort of, to me, to you, I didn't know what to do, but Salt presumably shouted the loudest.
Yeah, I think it went high up enough that obviously Salt could make the ground quite easily.
Montgomery's facing on 22. Now, you know, this is a man who's in a bit of form, but he can't get it past the fielder in the offside, just on the edge of the circle there on that occasion, so he stays on 22. It's 9 overs, 87 for 3. 1 over bowled by Wells for 9 runs and 1 wicket, and Kate Cross is impressed.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you bowl your part-time bowlers, they often do find ways of breaking partnerships, whether it's a lack of concentration from the batters or an element of them wanting to, you know, punish that bowler and get them out of the attack. I'm not too sure, but you do see it quite frequently. What's clever here from Notts, though, is that they've replaced like for like with the left-handed batter, so you've got a right-hander and a left-hander out there, which means there's a lot of field movement. Bowlers have to adjust their lines.
So it's Moores on strike, and it's Hartley who's brought in. Spin continues, but it's Hartley this time behind square. Moores finds a single.
He moves to 2. 88 for 3, 208 for 4 Lancashire in their innings. If you missed it earlier, you did miss something extraordinary, really. I keep on saying it, I guess, but it still is extraordinary. That 85 not out of 41 balls from Daryl Mitchell. Next ball bowled, and it's going to be safe. It's going to be played out there through the leg side. Actually, perfect placement for 4. Got 2 fielders out there in between the pair of them. 4 runs.
Yeah,
92 for 3.
That's the difficulty of protecting that short boundary, especially for a spinner. If you drop your length back, there's a good chance you're going to get pulled into that, which is just what Montgomery's done.
Liam Livingstone earlier at 32 off 23. Phil Salt 34 off 24. Wells 38 off 23. Down into the ground off the bat of Montgomery here in the run chase. And the bowling, well, it was hard work. It was really hard work. Hartley, meantime, in. Creates a bit of room and space for himself, Montgomery, to slice the ball square. They'll think of a second. They'll come back for 2. It's a long way out there. Comfortable 2 in the end. Montgomery up to 28 off 18 balls. 94 for 3. Setting sun behind the scoreboard. We look the left-hand side. We look out on this Saturday night here in Manchester. T20 action. Good action. Exciting action. And so much work to be done by Montgomery, who picks up a single onto the leg side. That massive target set, 208 for 4.
What Moores can't do here is take too many balls to get himself going. He's got to take the pressure off Montgomery.
And already we're into the last ball of the over. 8 runs have come from it, and that's down the leg side wide. Hartley goes for the appeal. Whether to try and confuse the umpire or not, I don't know.
It's always worth a shout.
Well, it is. I mean, it was a bit of a swing of the bat there. And this time he makes contact, but it's straight to the fielder on the right-hand side. And that's young Bell getting down to that. Many thanks to Kate Cross. 10 overs gone, 97 for 3 on the board. Now, I've not got an exact comparison here to draw upon, but if memory serves me correctly, it was around this mark, the 10 over mark, that I think Lancashire, in setting a target, actually just got over the 100 mark, if memory serves me correctly. And David Lloyd, who's sitting alongside me at that point already, calling 200, saying 200 on the cards here. I think it was a similar mark of the innings, maybe just a little bit behind. Liam Livingstone is going to bowl again here. And he's in now, jumping on top of that one, Moores really, but keeps it down into the offside for a single. Livingstone actually has been quite expensive here this evening so far. 2.1 overs, 26 runs he's gone for. And just off spinners. He usually mixes it up with some leg spinners, off spinners, but it's been all off spin, and they've got after him. None for 26 after 2.1. 10 runs coming off that previous over, by the way, from Hartley. And again, sits up over the top of extra cover. For one moment I thought that might just into the grasp. The flying right-hander Croft, but it brings up the 100 in this 11th over. 102 for 3 with a 4. I reckon they're neck and neck. They won't be too bothered with the position that they're in, the Outlaws. They've lost Munro. Montgomery facing now on 33, down, sweeping away through mid-wicket. Should be just the 1, because as a fielder, Tom Hartley gets to it. Left arm throw, no problems. Montgomery to 34, 103 for 3, 11th over. Required rate is 11.16. If they can keep it, if they can get it to round about 10, and wickets intact. Livingstone, midway through his 3rd over, bowls again, and worked away on the onside by Moores for a single. That's all he's been able to work in so far. 5 of 5, 104 for 3. They're not trusting Parkinson, are they? Parkinson has been a huge player in T20 Blast for the Lightning. They're just not trusting him. Next ball. And this is in the air. And how far is it going to go? Just 1 bounce and 4. Deep extra cover. 108 for 3. It's turning into a tricky now with the ball in hand here for the Lancashire captain. Yeah, he's going for plenty. Short ball outside off stump to the short boundary. Right-handed batter. He's going to change the field. Extra cover, he's going to protect that, but in truth, it's just a poor delivery. Short and wide outside the off stump. Ball left to the 11th. And it's Livingstone to bowl to Montgomery. 38 off 22. In now. Leans back, smash past Livingstone. Wood does well to get everything behind it to stop that ball. Tumbling stop. Big smiles from Wood, mind you. I think he'll be smiling from here until I don't know when, following that delivery. They got Hales out earlier this evening. 108 for 3, 11 overs gone. Chasing this target down now. They need 209 runs. Just a quick word, you mentioned earlier, travelling from Punjab. Was it two lads you came across?
Yeah, a couple of guys. I said, who are you supporting? Livingston. That's what they said straight away, Livingston. He plays for Punjab. And I just said, joking. I said, have you come from there? Yes.
Well, Parkinson's coming on here now. Just briefly on that, it is reckoned that more and more now people are supporting individuals within the game, not just the teams, maybe more than the teams. Parkinson is brought on, and this is worked away for his second over. His first one went for 12.
Kevin, we've got this pitch has been played. 4 matches have been played on the 4. We haven't seen a ball spin yet.
No. But still plenty of spinners being used. Montgomery on 38. Parkinson bowls again, and that's hammered away through mid-wicket. Should be a tumbling stop, but it does mean they go through for 2. They'll have to be sharpish about it. They are. Fielder wasn't able just to get down and pick up that ball. Had to sort of tumble and roll with it a little bit. Just gives that, well, half a second almost, no more, to go through and say, yeah, we can get a 2 here. 111 for 3 in the 12th over. Montgomery on 40. Parkinson bowls again, looking to sweep. It very nearly gets the top edge into the gloves of the keeper.
Beautiful delivery from Parkinson. He is trying to bowl it a little bit quicker.
Midway through this, his second over, midway through the 12th. 111 for 3. Parkinson to Montgomery. Montgomery lifts it over the top of extra cover. Won't go as far as the fielder out there coming in. And that is... oh, could be a run out. Could be a run out. He is. Oh dear, the throw from Darryl Mitchell. We were busy looking at that, and so too, I think, were the batters out there, because who's been run out in the end of all that?
Montgomery.
It's Montgomery turning around, sent back, and the throw comes in. He was yards out. An easy call for the umpire. Good, strong throw from the deep. Parkinson does well to gather the ball, to get it where it should be. Oh, that is not at all what the Outlaws needed. Let's take a look at this again. Who's at fault here? It goes high and fast out there to Mitchell. Initially, they thought maybe there's a catch. He's going back there for the second. And good work from Parkinson in the end to gather the ball and whip it back round.
It's a rocket throw from Mitchell. They're looking at the catch first up. It bounces a couple of times. Mitchell, rocket throw. Oh, they've made a real Horlicks of it, the 2 batsmen. And it's the premier batsman. Montgomery has had to go. You're looking for that little bit of magic in the field, and Lancashire Lightning have just had it.
That is a massive blow. Montgomery was looking as if he was set to go on and help them perhaps towards this mammoth target. Well, now it's down to Mullaney and Moores to try and steer them there. 1 ball left of the 12th, 113 for 4. Your percentage, well, I don't always agree with that, but I think I might be with them on that one. 87.7% for Lancashire Lightning. I think they're in a strong position.
Nailed on.
112, 113 for 4. Score moves to. And it's Mullaney facing his first delivery. Little work onto the onside. And the end of that over. 12 overs gone, 113 for 4. Lee Ladd, of course, is Mullaney. Big night for them last night. Picture of a Warrington in the Super League. They'll be delighted with that, but he won't be worried about that right now. It's the Outlaws at the forefront of his mind, along with Moores as well. 96 from 48 balls with 6 wickets standing. Livingston's going to chance his arm again for a 4th. It's been expensive for him tonight, but he's got to go through his 4th.
He's keeping him in the game. Just getting back to that piece of fielding, that was absolutely brilliant from Mitchell. We've talked about his experience. That was a rocket throw. No height to the throw at all. Dead flat, bounce once. Perfect for Parkinson to turn round. He had to turn round and break the stumps.
Moores on 7, the left-handed Moores. Down into the ground from Livingston. They'll go through for 1. Well, a couple of moments there where Monroe just looked as if he was going to be maybe his big night tonight, and then he skies one. The catch is taken. I'm thinking Montgomery's looking set and settled here, and then he's run out there. Big moments, big moments. Mullaney. Just a second ball he's faced. Just a little change in the field here. On the offside. And he goes down towards long off. Where Luke Wood is doing the fielding for 1 run. He moves on to 1 on the score, 115 for 4. That sun really is setting down low now away to our left-hand side. See Livingston around the wicket again into Moores, and that one's worked away out to the left of Luke Wood. He does well though to cover the ground. Good sliding stop. They'll get 2. But, you know, you've seen plenty of those in the past where they've either misjudged the slide or just bobbled over or whatever. Looks totally in control of the game in both bowling and fielding. There's Wood this evening. Moores is on 10. Again worked away leg side. Dash through for 1. Going to try and turn all these into 2s if they can, but no. They can't. This time, almost a mix-up between Wood and Mitchell down there to our left-hand side.
They look sharp, Lightning in the field. They look fit, they look strong. Outlaws need boundaries. Singles, not enough.
Nope. Livingston's got 2 balls left. Where's that gone? Gone down the leg side. The keeper's missed it. They'll run through for 1. I think it's going to be signalled as a leg. No, wide. By umpire Peter Hartley. It's a little bit of a grumpy face when he signals things like that, as a bowler himself, of course, but a bit of a grumpy face. Sorry, lads, but it has to be. 120 for 4. And it's drilled along the ground here to Luke Wood, coming up off the boundary for a single.
He's careful, he's Peter Hartley. He's been around a long, long time.
Man, I got to know very well when I was doing the Yorkies day in, day out. Lovely character.
Grand lad, grand chap.
Yeah. Mullaney on 1. Good use of the wrist from Mullaney to try and create something from a half-decent ball into the onside. Young Bell, the right arm throw. 13 overs gone, 122 for 4. Mullaney on 2, Moores on 12. Well, 45 runs coming from the captain's bowling tonight, David.
Well, and he's persevered, hasn't he? He's bowled a couple of leg spinners, not much. He's bowled short and wide, and he's got clattered. Parkinson none for 17 off 2 overs, but you know the Outlaws have promised with Munro and Montgomery. Now they've got to really go for it. But singles and 2s are no good. They've got to find the boundaries. Have they got any big hitters? Mullaney's a fine player. Have they got any power? Patel still to come?
Well, he has done special things, Patel, when consistency is maybe back. Tonight could be his night. He's not there yet at the moment, though. These 2 have got the job in hand, and it's behind square and can't get past the fielder, so it's a dot ball off the bat of Mullaney.
Just look at this. He's a left-arm spin bowler. He's got 3 fielders behind, close in on the offside. 3.
It's Hartley. This is in the air, leg side. It shouldn't carry all the way out to the fielder, so it won't be a catching opportunity. But again, nice and composed in the deep there. No panicking, all under control. 1 bounce into the hands, nice throw in. No temptation offered to these batters to chance their arm at a second. 123 for 4, 14th over. And Hartley again. To the left-handed Moores, creates a bit of space, up and over, extra cover, could be a catch, and it isn't.
Oh,
it's
no.
Croft there, an extra cover. It's Croft who's put it down. Well, I thought it was going to be a stunner, to be fair. He had to time the jump just right. Let's take a look at this again. Out there, he's right on the boundary, just inside. He's going to fall into his hands. He had to jump and straight through his hands. Not maybe confident about the timing of the jump. Something, it went wrong. It's a drop catch. It's 124 for 4 in the 14th over. Worked away along the ground this time through square leg. And Wells gets to it now with the right arm throw. Didn't get it right, David.
It's a rarity, is that, Stephen Croft. Backed him all the way to take that catch. He's close to the boundary.
Well, it may not prove costly. It may prove costly. Who knows? Knott's got a lot of work to do here to get to 209. That's run fine, down towards us. Mahmood will give it chase. He's not going to be able to get there, though. It's going to be 4. 4 runs. 129 for 4. 1 ball left to the 14th. 209 needed. So, Hartley, tall figure of Tom Hartley. Going to bowl to Moores now, who's 17 not out of 13 deliveries. Next ball worked away again, leg side. Will he find perfect placement? He does! Brilliant placement there. Square on the leg side. 4 runs to finish off that 14th over. 133 for 4. Boundaries needed. Sometimes it's brutal, sometimes it's really clever placement. That's what we saw there. And Hartley now 2 overs, 21 runs gone. David Lloyd, will we be in for a bit of a thriller, a nail biter? Who knows? You give us your thoughts, he would. They'll be Scott Reed.
Well, it's still on, but they need to find the boundary. That was an excellent over for the Outlaws. Beautiful shot at the end. Placement, square of the wicket on the leg side. Brings another boundary. But I think it's time for the quick men, and they have got quick men. Wood, Mahmood. I looked at the paces that they were bowling, and particularly Luke Wood, high 80s. You need one of those. Going back to the dismissal of Alex Hales, that was an absolute gem. Fast, swinging, Yorker, off stump, cartwheeled out to the ground. He's back in the attack, 2 for 13 after 2 overs. He's in conversation with Mahmood. They're just about still in this, Outlaws, but they need to continue to find the boundaries.
Need a special over or 2 here, don't they, from somewhere? Mullaney and Moores, skippers out there in the middle. Here's Wood back in then. Left arm around the wicket. Hammered up and over cover, out towards deep point. Oh, it's a great effort from Croft to stop the ball.
Brilliant from Stephen Croft there. That is really clattered into the short boundary offside. Dives away to his left. Wood around the wicket as he bowled over the wicket in his first spell. Took his 2 wickets. He's now looking to tuck these batters up and bowl around the wicket, get it tight into them. It's not over yet.
134 for 4, just a single off that first ball of the 15th over. 75 from 35 balls. Here's the challenge for the Outlaws. Tom Moores is on strike. Wood starting from, he's nearer to us than he is to the batter, from beyond the 30-metre circle. In and bowls, back of a length. Moores pulls the ball away to the leg side. Just for a single, though.
Yeah, he's back over the wicket to the left-hander. Banged in, not looking for swing now. I talked about that first ball, the dismissal of Alex Hales that swung. He's not looking for that now. Ball's older, hit the pitch hard.
He'll be watching a replay of that back a few times, won't he? Goodness, that was some delivery from Luke Wood. 2 for 15, his figures. Mullaney waits. Wood, left arm, round the wicket. Flashed away off the pads to deep backward square leg for a single, though.
They're just getting pushed back, Outlaws. 33 balls remain. They need 73. They've got 6 wickets in hand. It needs a flurry, as you said. They need a special over. They need a 20. Get the impetus back.
Where's it coming from? Tricky against this man, Luke Wood. 3 on the leg side, boundary. Fine leg, deep square, deep mid-wicket. Back over the wicket, short again to Moores. Through to the keeper, no run, dot ball.
Super bowling. Tests him out with a fast, short delivery. 87 miles an hour, the beauty of pace. Pace can really hurt you, can disturb you. But of course, if he doesn't get it right, you get a bit of width. The batter will just help themselves. Fine leg. Comes inside the circle. That's the one for the over. You'd expect it to be full, maybe a slow delivery. Third man, fine leg inside.
2 balls left for the 15th over. 136 for 4. Wood again. Fuller, yeah, swatted out through the onside by Moores. Up comes Stephen Croft from deep mid-wicket to field. Just another single. They've just picked up at the minute 4 singles in the over.
And you just think now, as a team, as your captain, as the bowler, as the coach, get out of the over. 4 singles, just finish it off, no boundary.
Mullaney back on strike. He's looking out towards the leg side. That is one big monster hit towards that leg side boundary, peering over his left shoulder. Well, Wood was about to start, and then they've changed the field. Fine leg coming in the circle, mid-off dropping back. Wood to complete his 3rd over of the evening. Into Mullaney. Oh, Mullaney looks to try and ramp it over the keeper. He doesn't make any contact with it. Dot ball to end the 15th over. 137 for 4. Mullaney 6 and Moores on 23. 5 remaining. 72 to win, 30 balls left. And it's back to the leg spinner, back to Matt Parkinson. Stephen Moore replaces Bumble. It's going to take something super special from here, Stephen.
It is. I mean, that's the beauty of getting a really big score. You've got that little bit of a cushion at the back end, and Nottinghamshire up against it.
Tom Moores will be on strike for Parkinson. He's bowled 2 overs for 17. He's in and bowling. Down the pitch comes Moores. Has he cleared long on? Out towards that boundary. He has. I'm not sure if Mitchell kind of picked it up cleanly. It's gone for 4. It's bounced this side of the rope.
That's bizarre. It looked like Mitchell had it all completely covered. And it almost, I don't know whether it swung or he just lost it. But yeah, that's really strange. I mean, he should have taken that.
Parkinson bowls, reverse, hits it. Oh, gets it away. It's a good shot for 4 by Tom Moores on the reverse sweep. Gets it past the infield, down to the boundary for 4. The start of the 16th over with successive boundaries here, 145 for 4.
Yeah, well, there's only one way that Nottinghamshire can play now, and Moores is playing that way. It's boundary cricket, really.
Tom Moores, 31 from 19. Parkinson bowls. And he's playing and missing, albeit Parkinson's wondering whether he's got a little thin edge through to the keeper. It was a solitary appeal, though, Matt. He had no help from any of your mates.
I think Phil Salt just put his hand up just to sort of say, I'll kind of go along with you there, mate. But
Moores waits as Parkinson is in and bowls again. Shovelled out through the onside. Bell comes scampering around from deep mid-wicket. Moores comes back and adds 2 to his total. So he ticks along to 33 not out. Notts Outlaws are 147 for 4. Needs 62 of 26 balls. Parkinson again in. Moores drills it down towards long on. It bounces into the hands of Mitchell. 34 now to Tom Moores. 148 for 4. 1 ball left for the 16th over. It's 61 of 25. Well, we mentioned we're going to take something super special. It's going to take a really memorable little passage of play here for Notts. They need a magic over from somewhere to try and get themselves back into this. This is Mullaney on strike now. That's worked down to 3rd man. And he gets through for a single. Well, a couple of 4s to start the over, and then he's kind of dragged back by Lancashire spinner, isn't it? 16 overs gone, 60 more runs required, and 24 balls left.
yeah, and that's when the rate's up where it is now. There really is no margin for the batting group, and as a bowling, even if you go for a boundary at the start, you can always drag it back, just like Parkinson did there. This really is a tough spot for Nottinghamshire, and when you've seen it in the IPL, guys clearing the ropes, and that's really what they need now. The back end, they need boundary cricket, people who can clear these ropes. But it's very difficult when Lancashire are bowling like they're bowling, especially with these big boundaries, and they're going to have some more firepower coming on now.
Yeah, Saqib Mahmood, 2 overs for 18 a little earlier on. Both those overs came in the power play. He returns in and bowls just back of a length. That's an edge down to 3rd man by Mullaney. He swings hard, and he gets 4 for it down to deep 3rd.
Went nowhere near where he was hoping for that to go, but he gave himself a little bit of room, top edge. That is going to be difficult here for Mahmood, because he does have a lot of pace, so often pace can travel. So it'd be interesting to see how he does his changes of bowling here, his slower balls, his Yorkers, and I guess that's what he's going to need to be looking at, especially if he's going to be playing in the England one-day side.
56 required, 23 balls left, 6 wickets in hand. Mullaney moves on to 11, not out from 11 balls faced. That was his first boundary. Mahmood comes over the wicket and bowls, banged in short, and Mullaney kind of steps to the leg side and then swerves underneath it and through to the keeper. That's a good short ball, wasn't it, by Mahmood?
It was the running duck shot.
The running duck shot, like it.
I'm going to charge you and then duck you.
The ball did seem to kind of follow him, didn't it? as he did his charge and then his duck and his swerve. The ball just kept coming in his direction. And he managed to get out the way of it. It's a good short ball from Mahmood. In again to Mulaney. Top edges over the short third man down towards the boundary. Well, he's got to swing here, hasn't he, the Notts Outlaws skipper? He's swinging and using a bit of pace from Mahmood to great effect.
Yeah, well, I think he's just smiling at himself as well out there. He's got 2 boundaries. Neither of them were anywhere near where he was planning to hit the ball. But he'll take them. He needs them.
15 to Mulaney. 52 required off 21 balls. 1-5, 7 for 4. And Saqib Mahmood comes right on over the wicket to Mulaney. Gives himself some room, hits it up and over extra cover. Well, if the previous boundaries were edges down behind the keeper, that's a lovely shot. Up and over cover for 4 runs.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. That's probably what he was planning to do for the previous 2 boundaries. It's sliced out a third man. That was a lovely shot. Gave himself room. Sweetly struck. So, yeah, to see if Mahmood can get out of this over with a wicket or a dot ball would be good.
It's now below 50 for Outlaws, but they're rapidly running out of time. 20 balls left to get 48. Final, 2 balls left to the 17th. Mahmood to Mulaney. Straight to Livingston. Mulaney departs. He's gone for 19. Liam Livingston takes the catch. Mahmood picks up his first wicket. Notts Outlaws lose their 5th. They're 161 for 5.
I think that little passage of play there confused Mahmood, because Livingston, when he caught it, didn't celebrate, but actually tried to run Moores out at the non-striker's end. And I think Mahmood was, hello, ball's a no ball. Is that a no ball? What's going on there? We're just Livingston just moving on to the next ball.
Yeah, it's a good spot, that. Yeah, Mahmood just stood there and went, what's going on? Is that not a wicket?
Surely that's a wicket. Can I celebrate?
Well, he should celebrate. It's his first wicket of the evening. Stephen Mulaney having edged a few down towards third man for 4. But a lovely lofted drive over extra cover for 4 more. Eventually chips one up towards Liam Livingston at mid-off. Lyndon James is the new batter out there. They need 48 from 19 balls, the Notts Outlaws. Otherwise, Lancashire Lightning are making it 3 wins from 3 to start this year's T20 Blast. This is the final ball of the 17th over. Saqib Mahmood. Head down, here he comes in again, past the umpire. In and balls and beats a bit of a waft from James, in truth, and through to the keeper. And it's a dot ball to end it, so a wicket and then the dot ball to end that 17th over. It's pretty much perfect, which is pretty much exactly what you said might well happen. 17 gone, 161 for 5.
On cue, thanks, Saqib. That was a beautiful end to the over there, and just when Notts thought, oh, well, maybe we can wrestle this back, get a little bit of pressure back onto Lancs, very comfortable end to the over. And I think Lancs will look to try and close this out, I would have thought, in the next over or 2. Definitely don't want to get into the last over with Nottinghamshire thinking that they've got any chance, really.
Interesting, just looking at that worm there, that Notts were just above Lancs. Just dipped below them for the first time in a while, actually. From the kind of the run rate required and where they're at in this run chase.
Yeah, I mean, they've been on, I like to use the Duckworth-Lewis on the scoreboards here. They give you an idea of, you know, sort of your health of your run chase. And they've been pretty close, but Lancashire just finished so well.
Luke Wood back into the attack from the Anderson end. Moore's hopping back to the leg side, and Wood follows him. Oh, he's no ball. Ooh. He's overstepped. So it's going to be a free hit. So no ball and a free hit. 164 for 5. So 45 off 18 required. Lyndon James is on strike for this free hit. He's only faced 1 ball, though, the new batter. Lancashire can change the field because the batters did cross. We're not having flashbacks to finals day here just yet. So they're just having to tweak things around a little bit. They've got 2 fielders on the leg side boundary, long on and at deep mid-wicket. There's a long off, deep point, and wide third man. Free hit this. Wood to James. James clobbers it over long on. Oh, that's a great shot. Whew. It's gone for 6, a pretty flat 6, and it's been caught in the crowd. Well done. Excellent work. We've seen some sloppy fielding in the crowd tonight, but that was top draw.
Cleanly taken that. Yeah, his mates look impressed as well. They're trying to get in on the action there too.
Don't milk it too much.
That was a sweetly struck shot, that. Gosh, second ball. Take that.
170 for 5. Wood to James. Oh, it's gone through him. Again, that's shaped back in towards the keeper, Salt, who takes the catch. But it's beaten him on the inside edge, past the off stump.
Whisker from taking the top of the bail there. Yeah, he does rush the batsman, doesn't he, Wood?
These slippery left armers.
He is slippery.
39 required. 16 balls left. Lyndon James, 6 not out. Luke Wood in and bowls full and just wide of off stump, and he drives the ball along the ground through the leg side. That's Mitchell coming up from the long on boundary there to field. James gets a single. 171 for 5. Brings Tom Moores back on strike. I feel like Moores has not seen too much of the strike recently.
No. The Knots really need him to give some impetus now.
He's 35 from 23.
He's got very fast hands and he can hit a long ball, so.
Luke Wood to Moores, and step across the stumps and trying to flick it over the keeper's head. It's gone down the leg side, but taken by Salt. Moores looking back down towards the umpire, but
looks disconsolately at the umpire going, I don't think that was a wide. He'd come right away across his off stump there. He did miss out on what was essentially a free hit.
171 for 5. 38 off 14 balls for the Notts Outlaws. Wood for Lancashire in and balls. Again down the leg side. Not taken cleanly by Salt. They've scampered through for a run. He's given it as a run. Oh, a little bit of glove on that back, maybe.
You're right. Give it runs.
So Moores moves on to 36. Not out. 172 for 5. 37 needed. 13 balls left. This is the final ball of the night for Luke Wood. 4th and final over. Oh, sends in a Yorker. It's a really good ball. It's dug out beautifully by Lyndon James. He gets a run, James. He moves to 8. Wood's done for the evening. And he's sent the Lancashire supporters home tonight with a real memorable moment, because that dismissal of Alex Hales was as emphatic as you like it to see. He's enjoyed a really good night, Luke Wood.
Yeah, really impressed with him tonight. He set the tone with the ball that the rest of the bowling attack and the fielders have just fed off. Almost say a man of the match performance there, but I probably won't go to him. Brilliant, really brilliant.
4 overs, 2 for 29. Wood's work with the ball tonight. What a lovely evening it's turned into. The sun just setting. Good crowd inside Emirates Old Trafford, and some good catches, some brilliant bowling and some big hitting. You've had just about everything you'd want from a T20 game.
Absolutely, yeah, you can tell two high quality, two of the best T20 sides in English cricket going head to head tonight.
So Mitchell's going to bowl the 19th over, 36 required. Oh, he bangs one in short and slow. It kind of barely gets up and barely gets through to the keeper.
I thought you were being generous with the word bang there. Yes, that was Sunday League bouncer.
Well, it deceived Lyndon James.
It did.
Yeah, he was quite expecting that. Mitchell to James. James drives down the ground. Livingston tries to get across to cut it off. He can't. 4 runs. I guess, Stephen, that this is the over with Mitchell bowling it, because Mahmood's going to bowl the other one, that they've got to go.
Yeah, I mean, if this has to be a 20-25 run over to try and give themselves a, put them in the box seat, but put Mahmood under pressure.
Mitchell knows what's coming. They've got to go. James, off the back foot, pulls the ball out through the leg side, just for 1 run. So a dot and 4 and a single so far, the first 3 balls of this 19th over. 178 for 5. 31 needed, but just 9 balls left now. That last over from Luke Wood was has given Mitchell here a sense to bowl with a little bit of pressure off.
Yeah, I mean, they need, like I say, they need a couple of 6s, yeah, at least. Probably a couple of 6s and a 4 to give themselves a chance, not.
Well, can they find them? Moores is on strike. Mitchell to Moores. Swings away through the offside. Through extra cover. Tom Hartley picks up. Sends a throw into the bowler's end. They've come back and they've run 2. 180 for 5, so 29 needed now. 2 balls left of the 19th over. 29 off 8 balls. Moore's on 38. Mitchell had a wonderful night with the bat. Unbeaten 85 in Lancashire's innings. Bowling here at the death now. It's off the back foot, muscled away through the onside by Moores. Liam Livingston's at long on to field. Just the 1 run. Moores moves on to 39, 181 for 5. Mitchell is getting himself the chance to try and bowl with a bit of pressure off because of the way he batted, helping Lancashire to get up to and beyond 200. To set this big target, batting last. Short and slow again, and pulled by Lyndon James away to deep backward square leg. And that will do very nicely from a Lancashire Lightning point of view. It leaves the Notts Outlaws needing miracles into this final over. They need 27 to win. It's 182 for 5. Saqib Mahmood will bowl it. And this looks like, Stephen, being a very, very classy performance with bat and with ball by Lancashire Lightning.
Yeah, very professional for Lancashire, and they just want to finish it off now. So this is an opportunity to keep the ball with relatively little pressure, and just show what he can do at the death. Warm up for when the games get a bit tighter towards the back end of the season.
Yeah, it's a long group game, isn't it? Long group stage. Bit of a road trip on the way now for Lancashire. They're off to Birmingham and then Leeds and then Durham and then Trent Bridge. So they've got away games to come. The next 4 matches are all away from home, and then it's to Blackpool. Joss Butler's coming to Blackpool.
That's going to be special, isn't it?
Epic is that? Butler in Blackpool. Here's Mahmood, final over of the game. Swing and a miss from Lyndon James. Dot ball. Lancashire are pretty much there. There is something wonderful about the idea of Butler having played for the last 4 months, whatever it is, in front of billions of people watching IPL games, and he's going to rock up at Stanley Park in Blackpool in a couple of weeks.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely marvellous.
Brilliant.
182 for 5. Yeah, Butler's back for Lancashire's trip to Yorkshire next Thursday. Here's Mahmood. Balls, it's a wide ball, and James with a bottom edge just chops the ball away into the offside. Salt thinks about having a shy at the stumps and decides there's not much to gain from it. The Outlaws get through for 1 run. It's going to be 3 wins from 3 for Lancashire Lightning.
Looking very strong, aren't they? The only challenge is, like you say, lots of cricket to be played, and you don't want to peak too early. You want to build your momentum towards the back end. You're going to have a few games where you're going to dip.
So you want that to be in the middle then? You want a good start, a wobbly middle, and a good end.
And then, yeah. That's about right. Yeah.
Is that ideal?
Yeah, should we Just speak to Chappie and say,
Yeah.
just sort that out, please.
Have a wobbly middle, please.
Yeah, wobbly middle.
It's Mahmood to Moores. And that's muscled out through the onside. And Hartley comes up to field, just got through for a single. And it's just about the perfect day, really. Looks like lightning will follow thunder. A victory for Thunder in the Charlotte Edwards Cup earlier on today against the Sunrisers. And lightning striking here. 3 balls away from confirmation that their unbeaten run, which is now over 2 years since they last lost a T20 match here, goes on. Mahmood in, that's down the leg side to James. He's shuffled across the stumps. He's shuffled across the stumps so much, Mahmood can't believe he's not clipped his leg stump.
Yeah, it looked close from the that is for sure. But he beat them on pace, really. Lovely spearing Yorker.
Oh, it's time for a sing-song, Stephen.
Absolutely.
All together. Looks like Saturday evening in Manchester. There's quite a few in good voice. Karaoke bars will be doing a good trade later. Here's Mahmood to James. And he cuts this out towards Hartley on the deep point boundary. And we've got 1 ball left of the match. And Lancashire Lightning have enjoyed a pretty stylish performance tonight, with bat and with ball and in the field. 209 in the end was too many by some distance. Final ball of the game, Mahmood in, balls pulled by Moores down to fine leg. Parkinson fields, and Lancashire have defended their total, and they've defended it with a real sense of kind of authority, I think. Notts Outlaws finish on 186 for 5 from their 20 overs in pursuit. So they've won by 22 runs, Lancashire Lightning. It's a pretty impressive performance, Steve.
Yeah, no, very controlled match by Lancashire. Once they had the game under control, they never really relinquished it. You could see Notts at one point putting up a good fight with Montgomery and Munro, looking strong, but even then Lancashire looked to control. Knew just 1 wicket was going to change it for them. And 2 extremely strong 2020 squads that I'm sure will be fighting for at the back end of the season for honours for finals day. We'll be very happy with that win, Lancashire.
It's now a bit of a road trip for Lancashire. I mentioned the next 4 games are all away from Emirates Old Trafford, but they face the Bears, and then it's Yorkshire, and then Durham, and then Notts again at Trent Bridge next weekend. But what a way to tackle 4 successive away games on the back of 3 wins.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, they'll be heading on the road, high confidence, importantly with players who look like they're in good form, but also, you know, clear on their roles. So yeah, that'll be a nice place to be. The question is obviously a little bit of rotation, I would have thought, coming into there. So we know there's 1 player at least coming back into it at some point, Josh Butler. So yeah, but I'm sure they're going to want to try and rotate the squad a little bit, but try and keep some more wins under their belt.
For listeners on 5 Sports Extra, we're going to hand you across to Kevin Howells as the players shake hands here. A pretty good night here at Emirates Old Trafford. Lancashire Lightning making 3 wins from 3 to start this year's T20 Blast competition. It's a great victory for the Red Rose. We'll get some reaction in the company of Fraser and Bumble.
So much indeed, yes, a terrific victory for the Lancashire Lightning tonight. 22 runs, the margin of victory. Bumble, Kate, that was some seriously impressive stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a terrific game. Just too much to do. The Outlaws, they promised, and then 2 little bits, the Munro dismissal and then the run out, changed the game. They just had too much at the end.
We saw the tone being set, didn't we, right from the off. Luke Wood with that incredible in-swinging Yorker to dismiss Alex Hales for naught. I mean, that was impressive stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a big moment of the match, actually. We spoke in the half-time interval about how important Alex Hales is to that team and how he gets them going. I actually saw him in the dressing room. He was stood in our dressing room for a bit. And he just said that's what players do to him now. They run and bowl straight because he's got it in him to miss a straight one.
But Luke Wood was terrific tonight all round, wasn't he? Took a couple of wickets, but not only that, some of his dot balls as well, some of his defensive bowling was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I actually thought they used the bowlers really well. I thought bringing Luke Wells on was a stroke of genius. He comes on and takes the big wicket of Colin Munro, who's just getting knots going. But yeah, Luke Wood, he's had a great start to the tournament. He's a real asset for this Lancs team.
I'll tell you what, let's bring in Daryl Mitchell, who is alongside us to come and have a word with us, because he's been absolutely superb tonight. Just take that mic from Kate there. Daryl, many congratulations. It must be absolutely fantastic to have won a game in that fashion, in that style tonight.
Yeah, look, it's obviously nice to come out here in front of a big crowd, and yeah, to get a win like that was pretty cool, and hopefully we can carry that momentum on.
Terrific knock from you tonight. You must be really happy with that. 85 not out, including 6 sixes as well. You must be really happy with that.
Oh, look, it's nice, I guess, to contribute to the team, to put a score on the board, and a bit of luck along the way and a couple out of the middle, and yeah, that's the nature of T20 cricket. Is at times you close your eyes and have a swing and see what happens.
You got dropped 3 times as well, though. I mean, like you say, you had maybe a little bit of luck. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, it's always nice, isn't it?
Ably assisted as well by a nice knock from Liam Livingstone. That was a key partnership, wasn't it, in your innings?
Yeah, I think that was the thing throughout the innings, is we created partnerships and kept momentum going. There was no, I guess, easy overs that they were able to bowl, and we just wanted to keep trying to find ways to put pressure on them. So yeah, it was nice, I guess, to get a total tonight, and yeah, we'll try and do it again in a few days' time.
Talk about putting pressure on. I mean, Luke Wood's second ball to dismiss Alex Hales, an absolute peach of an in-swinging Yorker. What was your view of it?
Yeah, it was a hell of a nut, wasn't it? Reminds me of a Trent Boult in his heyday. So yeah, it's good signs for Lancashire to have someone like that charging in with a new nut.
It wasn't all plain sailing for the bowlers, though, was it? There were quite a few partnerships that Nottinghamshire did manage to build up. You had to wait, you had to be patient, you had to stick to the plan.
Yeah, I think it was a nice wicket out there. So they're always going to build partnerships, and they're always going to put pressure on us at times. And I thought the way our bowlers were really clear with how they wanted to go about it. And even though they got hit for a few boundaries, they kept coming back and finished off their overs, which is really important when they're chasing a total like that.
That's 3 wins from 3 now for Lancashire. That's a terrific start to this campaign, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll I guess stay where our feet are and keep pretty present, and just keep trying to win each game as it comes, and hopefully we're in the mix come the end of the competition.
Many congratulations, well done tonight, Daryl. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us.
Cheers,
absolutely superb performance from Daryl Mitchell tonight. His innings really was key, wasn't it, to an extent?
Yeah, winning the toss and having a bat first, I just wonder whether they said we need 200. And my own view is you need 200. That pitch is not going to change. And the turning point was Munro. He was going, they were right up there.
Yeah.
Munro gets out, and so Lightning are back in the game. You always need that little bit of magic in the field, and that was the run out. Hesitancy with the 2 batters. Mitchell again with a rocket throw. You know, it's not one of these from the boundary and I'm going to throw it up in the air and you can run another 2. He went bang, bounced it in 1. Parkinson got it turned round. There's a bit of confusion between the 2 batters, and Montgomery's gone. So they've got 2 little bits there, Lightning. Those are 2 massive pluses, and now you've got to chase the game. You need boundaries. They didn't get the boundaries. 1s and 2s are never going to hurt you.
Fielding was a big factor, wasn't it? Because we saw, as I mentioned to Daryl there, he got dropped 3 times on his way to his 85. And yet Lancashire were absolutely on it right from the start in terms of making sure that the big boundaries weren't coming as often as they would have wanted.
1 blemish from Stephen Croft, and it's a rarity, the catch on the boundary, but I thought they looked sharp in the field. The other thing, you've got to be organised. Get your fielders in the right places. What I mean by that is get your right fielders in the right places. And so you've got to throw it in rocket-like, as Mitchell did, and put them under pressure. 208, you're not going to lose too many. They ran them close. They needed boundaries at the end, and Lancashire Lightning took wickets right at the same time.
We knew this Nottinghamshire outfit would be very, very good. We know there is a side that have won this competition on previous occasions. What sort of a message does that send now, do you think, to the rest of the group and the rest of the teams in this competition to have won a game in that fashion?
Yeah, they put a marker down of Lightning, sharp in the field. That delivery from Luke Wood to Alex Hales is perfect.
That was worth the entrance fee alone tonight, wasn't it?
It is, because 1, it swung. It's a Yorker. 2, So that's two things he's got right. It's 87 miles an hour. Play that. Off stump, cartwheeling out the ground. It's not the number 11. It's a gun player. It's Alex Hales. It lifts the whole team. You can tell the elation as he got the wicket and he's gone off on one. And the rest of them had the significance. Keep Hales out of it.
It really was the most perfectly, beautifully delivered ball by the most perfectly, beautifully manicured man. In terms of what happens next, 3 wins from 3 now for Lancashire. Like you say, they've laid a marker. Everyone else is going to have to take note. These guys want to get their hands on that trophy again.
Yeah, they've been the Nearly team. I mean, Nearly last time, beaten in the final on finals day. But all the other teams will be looking at Lancs and thinking they've got a squad. You look at the ones who weren't playing today, and the other thing is that Josh Butler's on his way back.
It's going to be fantastic. Bumble, thank you very much indeed for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you. Thanks also to Kate Cross. Thanks to Polly and Sachi from the team from earlier on as well. 2 wins from 2 for the Thunder and the Lightning here at Emirates Old Trafford. The debate continues as always on our social platforms. Don't forget, we're all over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Tell us how you enjoyed today. Tell us how you think things could possibly improve. And don't, of course, forget to keep sending in your lookalikes. We love them. So it's all there on the social media for the future. We'll be back very, very soon. My thanks, as always, to all the team here who have made this a great, great day. And thanks to you for watching here on Lancs TV. Bye-bye for now.